everybody, welcome to the United Stand. We're live. It's Manchester United versus AZ ALKMAAR. It's not an election night watch-along, although I've been offered big money to do an election night watch-along. Somebody said, I'll pay you a tenner to go live all the way through the night for the election. I said, bog off. I've got Manchester United standards to entertain. So we're live, and that is the team on the left-hand side. I hope it is. Anyway, my eyes are way too small for that. But the time, it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, so we'll be live for the game in an hour. Well, live match chat in an hour. But Romero in goal, Ashley Young, Twansebi, Harry Maguire, Brandon Williams, Matic and Garner and Mata, Pereira, and Martial and Greenwood. So, to be honest with you, I think it might be Tony might play on the left. You're right, Kenny. We might have to change that around. But to be honest with you, it's not. It's the mix. I mean, I don't know whether you should be watching the road trip with Flex before on an afternoon, and he did say that we did need a mix of youth and experience. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not a fan of Matic. A lot of it's tongue in cheek, but Rashford needs a rest, says Jamie. He's spot on. I did vote. Yes, I did vote. I think it's important. But I don't really want to talk about elections because I want to talk about Manchester United. So the good thing about Matic being back is that it means that McTominay and Fred both get a rest. Marcus Rashford gets a rest. Dan James gets a rest. Wan-Bissaka gets a rest. So 5 of our more important players get a rest. Lingard has got an injury. He's not even on the bench. Arsenal are currently losing, says Extras E. Does that mean Arsenal are out of the Europa League, though, if they do lose? I mean, that's the thing I'm more interested in. With regards to the bench, you've got Grant on the bench, Jones on the bench, Laird on the bench, Fred, McTominay, Chong and Rashford. So actually, the bench looks a little bit stronger than it normally does. And I would have liked to have seen... I'd like to have seen let's talk about 6, baby, says Minamino. Okay. No Gomez. Angel Gomez not starting. Angel Gomez not even on the bench. And they have to lose by 5 goals to go out, says David Carter. Yeah, so it's irrelevant really, isn't it? And I'm sure he's playing his reserves in the game. Gomez has got an injury, says Radmagon. And Arsenal will finish 3rd in their group if they lose, says Jason Harris. I don't think they will. The Magic Eye says, hi Mark, that intro was intense. What are your predictions? How well do you think Matic will do? Well, I think before we make any stark predictions, I think it's important that we just check out the team that AZ ALKMAAR have put out, because they are playing against... They're playing against Ajax at the weekend, and I was wondering whether they'd go with a strong team. And they have, to be fair. They've got Stengs playing, Koopmeiners playing, Idrissi's playing. That's pretty much their strongest team, to be fair. They can't play their striker because he got sent off in the last game. But they've gone with a relatively strong team for AZ. And considering they're second in the league and they're only just behind Ajax, and they're playing Ajax on Sunday, that is quite a strong team that they've gone with. So I can't complain about that. I wanted them to go with a strong team tonight, and they have done. So I'm rather happy with that. So, look, I think it's going to be very interesting. Hi, Mark. When are you going to host calls on Discord? I want to have an interesting debate with someone who knows football as you. This channel is awesome, by the way, says Shady Abaneza. Well, we did one last night, mate. We will be doing one probably next Monday. Mino to Liverpool. Yes, Sanket Shah. I'll talk about that in a little bit, because we're just grasping the team news for United tonight first. And the connotations for Manchester United as things stand. Benjamin Goodman, thanks for the contribution and the question. He says, could the idea of getting a difficult round of 16 match such as Ajax or Inter force the board into January buys? Well, look, this is the most important thing about tonight. I think for a couple of reasons this is a really important game for Manchester United. For the first reason, I think we're still all a bit undecided on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that's normal. You can raise your game against Spurs, you can raise your game against Man City, but what can you do against teams like this and Everton and Watford? The jury's still out in that sense. He has bought himself some time with 2 very good results. But secondly, the other reason why we can't be losing tonight is that if I list you the clubs that have finished 3rd in their Champions League groups and going to drop down, if you finish 2nd in your group in the Europa League, you can play any of these teams. And they are Ajax, Benfica, Inter Milan, Red Bull Salzburg, Bayer Leverkusen, Shakhtar Donetsk, Olympiacos and Club Brugge. And some of those you'd be like, well, we're not scared of those, but they are better than a lot of what's in the Europa League. So it makes sense. If you want to win the Europa League, do you want to be playing Inter in the next knockout round? I mean, because I think there's 2 knockout rounds before you get to the quarterfinals. No, we don't. We want to have the easiest path as possible. And as I said this before, the issue that United have is that we have a very thin squad. We really do. I'm starting my Football Manager career on Mark Goldbridge, That's Football, tomorrow as Manchester United. And I'm just setting up the season because I want to start it with my first Premier League game. And I'm getting rid of a couple of players that I don't want. But the transfer budget is quite realistically minimal. And the squad is very, very thin. So Ollie, if he has what he had last season in February and March, another injury crisis, we don't want to be playing Inter Milan in February. We want to be playing Inter Milan in the final. So I think that we've got to draw or win today. That's what we've got. That's what we've got to do. I think a loss would be silly for United. Love the channel, would be nice with a guest once a month or so though, says Hooray. Well, look, we can go back to having a guest on the call-ins, on the watch-alongs if you want, but I always think that it's better just to interact with you lot. It's easier for me if I have a guest on it. So if that's what you want, we'll definitely go back to doing that. But a lot of people said they preferred it when I do it on my own because it's more interactive. So come see, come saw. Stengs is special, says he would be an incredible winter transfer, says Adam Williams. I think Stengs is one of those Dutch talents that could become very, very, you know, the next sort of De Jong sort of player. He's not like that, but, a big European star. And no guest, please, says Michael Lavelle. Do you think Pogba will be back for Everton, says Iron7? No, I don't. And we must win today, says Adayuko. Haaland is bad. And Arsenal are losing. I know, I've got it on the telly right next to me, so I'm aware of that. Why is Maguire playing, says Ollie Mavs HD. Well, I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger for a moment, just so I can interact with you lot and actually be able to read my screen, because it's quite small for me. It's the only thing that is small on this stage, but there's no need for I come across as being quite insecure about that, don't I? So yes, the Manchester United side for tonight, as you can see it there, is Romero in goal. You've got who else have we got? We've got Ashley Young at right back, which, to be honest with you, I would prefer have to seen Ethan Laird playing there today. Idrissi's a really good player, and I think Idrissi will cause Young as many problems as he'd cause a young lad. So I think we should have probably played Ethan Laird in this game. Other than that, I'm relatively happy with the team. I mean, some people are saying, why is Harry Maguire playing? For me, I think Harry Maguire playing isn't a bad thing. I would question why Phil Jones isn't playing. I mean, there is an opportunity to definitely, I would agree, rest Harry Maguire in this game, and we haven't taken that. And I think that was an opportunity we could have taken. But other than that, Brandon Williams at left back is a no-brainer. Maybe he didn't want to go with 2 full-backs that are very young, so I sort of agree with that. On top of that, you've got Garner and Matic. Good to see Garner playing in a game like this. Very good to see him getting minutes like that. He's only, 17, 18. Matic back. The only positive for that for me is, because I want this guy gone, is that McTominay and Fred get a rest. Pereira and Mata, look, I think that they've both been pretty poor this season. So, it's a tough game for them today. Hopefully they can turn up and, whatever people say about Mata and Pereira, if they find some form, it benefits us. If they keep playing like they don't, it doesn't. So it's an opportunity for them. Excited to see Greenwood playing. I'm a little bit surprised Martial's playing, I've got to be honest. A little bit concerned, but understand it, if I can be more clarity on that. Because I thought Rashford would play, because I think it was important to play Martial or Rashford, but Martial's only just come back from injury, and we're going to get him to play 3 games in 7 days here. So, he played against Man City, he's playing tonight, and he'll play against Everton. So I'm a little bit worried about that. But again, that comes down to the lack of depth in the squad. Is bad that I'm looking forward to this game because I like how AZ Alkmaar's football is way better than ours, says Red Baron. Well, look, I was very impressed with AZ Alkmaar in the away game, and I thought we were a little bit fortuitous to get a draw. So I think if they come and play to their strength, they can really... And let's be honest, if I asked you honestly in the live comments, well, Garner, Brandon Williams and Greenwood are young lads, so, you never know what you're going to get out of them. Matic, Mata, Young and Pereira are players that people aren't really sure about. And Maguire, Martial and Twansibi are players that we really like. So there's a mix in that team. And I think if United can get a result with that team tonight, it just builds confidence, doesn't it? Have you heard about Minamani Minamino is a done deal to Liverpool. We need to do the same and go and get Haaland, says Axel Nielsen. And Turbatoon says, we struggle against weak teams all season, so why not take the 2 spot to play a Champions League team in the next round? Ollie in, by the way. Well, that might happen if we lose, but I still don't think it's acceptable for Manchester United to lose tonight when you've got an opportunity to finish top of the league. But I don't know whether Liverpool have signed this lad. He played particularly well, I thought, against them in the Champions League, and Liverpool have gone and bought him for quite a cheap fee. What I would say about this is, maybe he's a player that United should have been looking at really, but we don't really have a great record with buying these sort of number 10 players when you think about Kagawa and Mata and Mkhitaryan. But what we do need to do is sign players. And if Liverpool and Chelsea are looking to sign players in January and they're already ahead of us, then what are we looking to do as a club that's meant to be closing the gap, who desperately needs 3 or 4 players anyway? Liverpool are already the finished article. They're Champions League holders. They're going to win the Premier League. They've got a very good team. They've got a whole new midfield. I mean, you look at Liverpool's midfield. They've got Fabinho, Henderson and Wijnaldum as their starting 3, but they could easily play Milner, Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain. And both of those midfielders are better than ours, and they've got 6 midfielders. So we do need to sign players in January. It's looking more and more like Erling Haaland is available for 20 million quid release clause, but it's looking more and more like he has flown out to Dortmund. RP Salzburg's sporting director has confirmed that Erling Haaland has flown to Dortmund. What that says to me is that he's moving in January. The concern is that he might fancy a move to Manchester United, but the controller in this is Mino Raiola, and it already sounds very similar to what happened with De Ligt, because they're already saying that they're going to listen to Manchester United, Dortmund, Juventus and somebody else. And you think, again, this is just going to be a massive signing on fee for Mino Raiola. And to be honest with you, I'll probably be in the minority here. I don't care. I would rather walk away from Erling Haaland and not sign him than put a load of money in Mino Raiola's pocket. I just think he's a vile man in football, and he's getting hold of these young teenagers, and I think shame on his dad, shame on the people around him that are allowing Mino Raiola to get hold of these teenagers and basically put them up like a piece of meat to the rest of Europe. What about what's good for their career? What about the fact that Solskjaer trained him at Mulder? Alf-Inge Haaland was a footballer. He knows the football industry. Why is he letting someone like Mino Raiola just pump up the price just so that he can make a load of money out of him? It just makes me very mad. It makes me very mad. And so much so, I would be stubborn enough to say, let's not do it. Today, Ollie's plan A won't work because of slow players, says Dipanshu Kumar. Well, Greenwood and Martial are fast, but that you're right, it's a very good point. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how we do tactically tonight when you look at that midfield. And Matic is slow. Garner's got a bit of movement about him, but Pereira and Mata not particularly quick. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we do. What we don't want to see is United getting bossed at home again. Let's have a look what people are saying. 7.25 million is release clause for Minamino. Haaland has release clause too, says Wanley. Yeah, apparently it's about £20 million. It was billed. I mean, it's funny because if you follow me on Twitter, I do follow a lot of things, and I do tend to tweet them out a lot before the English press because I know where to look, as I'm sure some of you do. And I tweeted it out 48 hours ago that looking like Haaland's off to Dortmund, because I read it with Bild. And Bild are a very good outlet in Germany. And they were talking about it 2 days ago. And then it gets picked up by the rest of the press. And now it's been confirmed by RP Salzburg that Haaland has been over to speak to Dortmund. It's not definite he's going there, but there's definitely some truth in that. So give us a follow on Twitter at Mark Goldbridge. But he is available. And the interesting thing about Haaland is he fits United really well, because to look at it from the other side, he's tall, i.e. plan B. He's young, i.e. fits in with what United want. And Ollie knows everything about him because he's used him before. So I think he'd be a good. Stealth says Build is not a good outlet. They're pretty reliable with transfers when it comes to Germany, to be fair. Your opinion if you think different, but I think that they are. And I think they should put Martial on the left and Rashford at striker because he's been on fire lately, says Johnny Morn. What do people think about that? I actually disagree. I think that the reason Rashford's been on fire lately is because he's playing on the wing and he's getting the ball at his feet to run at the back four. When you play, there's a real big contrast here. If you play on the left wing and you play up front, totally different positions. Because if you play up front, you play with your back to goal a lot. if you play on the wing, you play with your face to goal a lot and you run at the goal. That suits Rashford. What did we see when Martial was injured? Rashford playing down the middle. People were even talking about selling him. He was awful. Put him back on the wing. He's running at players and you get the best out of him. How do we think today's going to go? Because Mihir's just said he thinks we're going to lose. Please do smash a like on the video, everyone. Let's see if we can get a couple of thousand likes before kickoff. And also, please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. You can do that and get involved in the channel. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams. We never miss a game. We're out in bloody Kazakhstan for that Youth United game a couple of weeks ago. So we're always at the games doing fan cams. And we've got transfer news, match reactions, previews, the lot, call-ins. So if you are new, get involved. You will not regret it. We've got an absolutely fantastic community. Bottom right-hand corner. My score prediction, I can't remember even what I said in the preview my score prediction was, but I do quite fancy today it being a draw. If anyone can remember what I said in the preview, fair play. I can't remember even. I don't think I even gave a score prediction in the preview, to be fair. But I do quite fancy a draw, if I'm being absolutely honest. Sanket says, name your 3 dream signings. I think that my 3 dream signings are going to be things like Kante, Messi, Ronaldo. You know, that's what I'm going to say. But I think I don't like that because it never happens and it is a dream, like you say. I think that my 3 realistic signings that I would like United to make are as follows. I would like to see us buy Bruno Fernandes, even though I just can't see that happening. I would like to see us sign a centre defensive midfielder, and I suppose if you're asking me my dream signing, I would like us to sign Ndidi, and I know we're probably going to go for Maddison, but I'd rather get Bruno Fernandes and then get Ndidi from Leicester than get James Maddison and get Sean Longstaff. So I'd like Bruno Fernandes, Ndidi as my midfielders, and then my right-sided winger really would be because I think that's a very important position, even though we do need a striker. I think my right-sided winger, there's quite a few that I like, but I probably would say Jadon Sancho, to be honest. I think he would be good. Anthony Martial can do all that Marcus Rashford can do, but not the other way round, says ALKMAAR V8. And Partey and Madders, says Ethan DeGuy. Yep, don't mind that. Ndidi, Fernandes and Sancho, says Anthony Wisdom, which is exactly what I said. Unpopular opinion, Wan-Bissaka is our best right-back ever, says Righty FC. Oh, it is unpopular, mate, because you've probably never heard of someone called Dennis Irwin, who did play left-back a lot for us as well, but was equally good on either side. And to me, he's the best fullback we've had in my lifetime. And I've seen some crackers, Patrice Evra, Gary Neville. Paul Parker was pretty good as well. But, Wan-Bissaka can be our best right-back of all time. But let's not forget, he is doing very well, but he's doing it in a team that's not very good. So hopefully Wan-Bissaka will get opportunities to play in Premier League United winning sides, maybe Champions League winning sides, and maybe he can do that. Philip Burtonwood says, good evening, Mark. Would you ever consider having a meet-up in Belfast or Dublin at some stage? We are working on one in Dublin, Philip, so there's your answer. And would you take Havertz or Fernandes? Says 6782 Anthony. Look, I would be over the moon with either of those. I think if we ask the live comments, who would you prefer, Havertz or Bruno Fernandes, you'll probably get an even split. And it's one of those, if you're telling me, do I want Mandzukic or Haaland, I'll cry if we sign Mandzukic. But if you're telling me we're going to sign Havertz or Fernandes, I'll give you a preference. But actually, I'd be ecstatic with either of them. If push came to shove, I'd probably go Bruno Fernandes just because I like that player. And Nick Lopez says, I'm done with Lingard. We should loan him in order to get his stock up, then sell him for whatever. Think we should do the same with Smalling when he comes back. Thoughts? I don't think the club will ever sell Lingard. I think he's going to be here forever. But with Chris Smalling, I think Chris Smalling has played so much football for Roma that he will demand a move anyway, because he will not want to come back to Manchester United and sit on our bench. He's just not going to want to do that. So I think that's what will happen with Smalling, to be honest. I think he will end up going without a shadow of a doubt. So it's good to see that AZ Alkmaar have gone with a strong team. Standard Liège are beating Arsenal 2-0 now. I don't know the strength of Arsenal's team, But I think they need to win by a lot more goals than 2-0 to make any difference. And there's not a particularly long amount of time left. But I presume this is not an Arsenal strong team, even though I can see Guendouzi and I can see David Luiz and Willock. But no, it's not their strongest team. It's not Leno in goal or anything like that. So, to be fair, they're probably not that interested in it. They know that they're going to be going through. Arsenal are trash, says JT Music FTW. Well, I did do a video on Arsenal today on Mark Goldbridge, That's Football, and I basically said that they've got absolutely no hope of top 4. To which I got loads of Arsenal fans saying, we're only a couple of points behind you. And I went, yeah, but I still disagree. I think Arsenal, I'm not saying United have turned a corner. I really don't think that. But I do think that they're going to keep struggling. I really do. I've just put it. I'm just sorry to be doing something on my phone when I should be talking to you a lot, but I've just put a tweet out to wind people up. Please do share the video, by the way, as well. You can share the video by clicking the share button underneath. You can share it on Twitter and Facebook. Arsenal are 2-0 down. Banter, says Seymour Turner Jr. And top 4 is done. Liverpool, City, Leicester, Chelsea, says Northo. I think, well, it's important, isn't it? Because we're playing Everton and that is our priority. The Europa League and the Premier League top 4 are Manchester United's priority this season. It'd be nice to win the Carabao Cup, but I ain't too bothered about it. It'd be nice to win the FA Cup, I ain't too bothered about it. But top 4 in the league and Europa League win gets us in the Champions League, so they're the priorities. So I think that we've got to treat things as a priority. If Ollie loses today, Ollie out. But if he wins, give him 5 years, says Todd Blank. Now that is sarcasm. Ashu says, do you believe they will buy in January? I really don't think so. For past years, how much crap media puts regarding United signing players. Maybe we get 1 or 2 fit, but our hopes for top 4 is thin. And McLife says, Mark, if you read this, you are admitting you actually love Matic. Great channel. Look, I've had this for years, to be honest, and that was from McLife. I've had this for years, to be honest. Oh, your agenda against Matic is ridiculous. I don't know the guy. I didn't know Fellaini. I don't know Lingard. I just speak openly about what they are like as footballers, and I think that Matic is trash. And I want him to go, but I've been very consistent about that for a long time. Lingard's new salary costs more than Minamino, says Mahisha Mehta. And Ashwin Ban says Minamino and Fabinho were signed with nothing leaked until it was done. Why are all United transfers or public knowledge at every stage? Because Manchester United is a badly run club. Why are we surprised by this? Manchester United is a badly run football club, and until people start realising that, well, why are you not shocked? We are a badly run club. We have been for a long time. Team news used to get leaked like 2 hours before it was out. That's because you've got a mole in the dressing room. So we're a badly run club. I'm impressed with what Liverpool have done with their owners over the last 5 years. It's very impressive. Heard Mandzukic is off, let's hope, says Charlie Welsh. But it would be great. It would be great to be able to sign players just like that. It would be great to do that. But we just seem to be unable to do it. And I don't know why that is, but I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it if we could. And the way Liverpool signed Fabinho, well, it almost killed me, because I was like thinking he's coming to United. And, well, as he said, we were never in for him. But I would love us to have signed Fabinho. And I think it is very impressive when a club can go and do signings like that out of nowhere, but we just seem to be unable to do it, and I don't really know why. I really don't know why. Oh, why is it doing this? I don't want to use that one. You can go in the bin. Mbappe is impossible for Manchester United, says Wan Lee. Oh yeah, I think at the end of the day, why would Kylian Mbappe be a possibility for Manchester United? It's not. It's just not the sort of signing that we would be making, is it? All right, let me get that done. DT is a Tory, says Red Lad. Hey, look. In all seriousness, in relation to the election stuff, you're all going to get your result in a couple of hours. I actually do think that voting, if people is somebody's business, and you shouldn't be critical of people who vote for different things to you. I doubt TT is a Tory, by the way. Right. Awesome show, says Clint Jacobs. You're a Tory, says Greg Hollywood. Look, even if I am, so what? But I'm not going to confess to what I vote. I think it's nobody's business. I really don't. And I think, the reason it's nobody's business is because people make stupid assumptions about you based on who you vote for. I will give you a little bit of a hint, but I will not tell you who I vote for. My background is extremely working class. Christmas times, we didn't get Sega Mega Drives or anything like that. We got like Now 21 or whatever it was on cassette. I'm from a working class background. That tends to show you where I would be voting, but it's nobody's business. I hate Scousers more than Gary Neville, says Lucius Carter. And hello from Norway, says Marius Elfson. And Williams is my cousin. I told him to watch some of your streams. He's a great guy. He said to DM him if you want to do an interview with him, says Gwilym Garrigou. Gary, I don't believe you, but I'd believe you if you followed me on Twitter, and then we can take it from there. But I don't believe you're telling the truth, and I don't believe a United player would be able to do an interview. This match would have been perfect for Haaland, says Ollie Jacob Hodge. How? There's no way he could play for us. And what do we got? Liverpool did a Ronaldo-type signing, which United did back in 2003. Played well against them and bought. Liverpool is so much like Sir Alex United. Look, I don't want to dwell on Liverpool because it will just depress everybody. But I did a video about a year ago, actually about 14 months ago, so longer than a year ago. Go and search it on Mark Goldbridge, That's Football, if you don't believe me. But to save you the time, what I said in that video was that, and this was before Liverpool had won the Champions League, I said, basically at the start of last season, that Liverpool are the closest thing to Sir Alex Ferguson, Man United, in the world. And that's very sad because Ollie wants to be the closest to that. But the reality is, look at what Liverpool have got. Look at what they've got. They've got young, attacking British fullbacks. They've got a mixture of signings and youth and British talent. They go to the very last minute of every game, which is why they get a lot of points. There are a lot of similarities. And I don't think Jurgen Klopp could ever admit that. And I don't blame him for that. But I think he models a lot of his success at Liverpool on what Sir Alex Ferguson did. There we go. Right. We might lose. We don't have Rashford, says Kado Plado. And I'm quite happy with that team, though. Just to go back to it, I'm quite happy with the team. I think the main thing is that we've put a team out that should get a result. It shouldn't be getting beaten. I'm not going to accept a defeat tonight, mainly because losing would be stupid to finish second in the group. But that team should be good enough. It's a squad team. You've got experience there like Ashley Young, Harry Maguire, Nemanja Matic, Mata, Pereira, Rashford, and then a few lads like Brandon Williams and Twansebi, who actually is quite experienced, Garner and Greenwood. So we've got a good mix there, and I expect Manchester United to do it. Bardistas says, get Christmas done. What is the benchmark, says X Tyler. So the bench, off the top of my head, although I could just read it, the bench off the top of my head is Grant, Jones, Lard, McTominay, Fred, Rashford and Chong. So no Dan James at all, no Wan-Bissaka at all, totally rested, which is quite a good thing. We've got nearly 10,000 people watching, which is fantastic. Please do subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We will be able to change the number. Let's get that number changed very, very quickly because I know we're close to 595,000. We are 70 subscribers away from 595,000. So that number will change from 594 to 595 the second we do that. So please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. And if you have already subscribed, click the share button and share it on Twitter and Facebook. That would be appreciated. Lucius Carter says, why no Chong? I would have played Chong tonight because if you look at that United side and maybe Martial will switch to the left and Greenwood will go through the middle, but Pereira playing as on the wide or Mata on the wide, that's I think surely Chong does a better job than that. Surely he does. But I'm not massively disappointed with the team. Arsenal have scored. It's 2-1. Also, I think there's a link in the video description if you want to get some United Stand jumpers for Christmas. We've got a Christmas Cantona one, T-shirts, the lot. The link's in the video description for that. Chong is just not good enough. It's as simple as that, says Mustafa. Almost expected you to say Brexit means Brexit. Manchester is red. Manchester is red, says Anisa Ali. Kickoff is in half an hour, 29 minutes. So if you've got any topics you want to discuss before then, the floor is yours, as they say. There's about 10 minutes left in this Arsenal game, so they may well get an equaliser. Hi Mark, is the beef between you and DT still ongoing, says Antio Chill. No, not really. I've got to be honest. It's there's definitely banter rivalry there, but I think we've more or less sorted out all the bullshit. And I think one of the big reasons we've sorted out all the bullshit is because of all the bullshit that's going on at the moment from mainstream media. You know, Talk Sport is basically owned by Sky Sports, and Talk Sport are having a pop at fan channels, which I think is just jealousy. So I would choose to, stick. I know how much work goes on in fan channels. So I would prefer to stick with people who work on fan channels than go with mainstream media attacking us for no reason. Does this match not matter? Strange lineup, says Andrew Rossi. It does matter. For anybody who doesn't understand it, United are top of this group at the moment, but if AZ Alkmaar beat us, they will finish top of the group. We will finish second, which exposes us to a knockout game against Inter or Ajax. If we finish top, we will avoid that and get an easier game. So, what a lovely goal by Arsenal that is. He is a talent, that Saka. I've always liked that Saka of Arsenal. He is a bloody good player. What a goal it was. I don't know why Arsenal don't play him more, because he came and played against us away from home at Old Trafford, didn't he? And I was very impressed with him. I think he's a good, very, very good player. And he's just scored a very good goal. Mark, does anything change if Matic puts in a really good performance tonight, says Solix Gaming HD? Wouldn't have thought so. Not for me. Let me just have a quick look. I'm just going to Google it. Does anything change if Matic plays well tonight? Google says, piss off. No, what I was actually looking at is, how old is he? So Matic is 31. He plays like he's 41. I just want Matic gone, to be honest. I don't think he offers anything for us, and I think that would be wrong for us to change our mind about Matic. Well, for me to change my mind about Matic, I'm not going to. You lot can do what you like. Anton Olsen says, I know it's discussed every transfer window, but Ronaldo actually looks unhappy at Juve. Do you think a swap money for Pogba is unrealistic in January? Anton, I always think there has to be a point where you say, Ronaldo's too old, I wouldn't take him back to United. And I've been saying this for 6 years, but I still would take Ronaldo back. So, woe is me, I suppose. I'm a little bit stupid, I guess. But might end up playing 4-1-2-1-2 with the players starting, says Alex Fielding. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if that formation is wrong, to be fair. Vinbra says, Mark, can you give a shout out to my wife Amanda, who's sitting here watching the United Stand with me? P.S. She wants to know how you find the time for United Stand. Well, I'll tell you how I find the time, Amanda, and you can have a shout out. And everybody in the live comments, give Amanda a shout out. Because we want more women in football. We do want more women in football. And I think it's great that, women are watching the United Stand and getting involved in football. So it's great. I'll tell you how I find time for the United Stand. An hour before every game, we're live. 8 o'clock every night, we're live. Fan cam straight after. Thanks for allowing me to plug it. But you know what? That's what we do on the United Stand. That's the way it works. So that's how we find the time. Because we're a Manchester United fan channel. And when things go on that need to be discussed, the United Stand is live. Big up Amanda. Loads of people shouting out. Because we've got such a lovely community, Amanda. So keep watching. And tell your friends. What's up, Amanda, says Max2226. Mark, do you think Emil Forsberg would be a good buy for United? Werner and Emil are a great duo, says Anthony Johansson. My only issue with Forsberg, Swedish, isn't he? That's not my issue. I love the Swedes. But Timotei, I always think Swedes, isn't it? Because of the very light blonde hair. People are like, what's Timotei? It's a shampoo. I grew up watching shampoo adverts for Timotei, and they always used women with really, really light white hair, light blonde hair, which makes me think for Sweden. Emil Forsberg is a very good player, but I think he's like 28. So again, he sort of falls into that Eriksson category for me. Is that what if I've got a problem with 28-year-olds? I really haven't. But what I don't want to see from United is hypocrisy. United at the moment are really stretching the limits of our patience. We've not had a very good start to the season. I think it still is our worst start to the season in Premier League history. But the one thing that United keep telling us is in the future we're going to be good. We're in the future we're going to be really good. So we've got to, if we're going to do that, I expect to see signings that are going to be around for our future. Don't tell me in the future we're going to be good and then sign Mandzukic. And I think I'm almost feeling the same about people like a Forsberg or an Eriksson because of their age. Mark, I'm watching from Nigeria, says Temple at Uganda. Yeah, let us know where you are watching from. By the way, you can do that in the live comments. I'm always nosy about that. And Gwilym Gallagher is from Caldicot in Wales. And Mark, do you think we will be able to beat Everton if they just sit back the entire game, says Denzel Panzman. I really hope for United's season that Everton do sit back and park the bus against us, because if we win that game, it shows we can do that. I expect Everton will sit back and hit on the break. I watched Everton play Chelsea at Goodison Park, and I think Chelsea had 80% possession in the first half. And yet Everton had more shots on target. So it just shows you that Everton will probably be the perfect game for us, and Watford as well. If we take 6 points from those, it gives us a lot of confidence. We still haven't hit 595,000 subscribers. Come on, people. We only needed 70. We now need 40. Bottom right-hand corner. Subscribe to the channel, please. Let's get it to 595,000. Bottom right-hand corner. Subscribe button. And if you have subscribed, share button. Let's get it done before kick-off. 595. Arsenal is 2-2. It's been 2-2 for a while. Malahai Jimad Yoke says even Stonebridge. And I subscribed twice, says George AB. You probably unsubscribed then if you press it twice. Checking in from the US of A, says Kapil Nayar. Harry Melander is in Sweden. And Nahid Maradi is in Sweden as well. I am on the gin tonight. And we could get top 4 if Chelsea drop points, says Momo Jawara. I did want to come back to that one. Thank you, Momo. Somebody said that before. That top 4 is already decided. It's going to be Liverpool, Man City, Leicester and Chelsea. I think when you look at the points that Leicester have got, are they 14 points ahead of us or 12 points ahead of us? That's ridiculous. To close that sort of gap when Leicester have got no European football and are playing 1 game a week, it's going to be very hard to close that gap. We're clearly not going to catch Liverpool. I don't think we can catch Man City. So I agree that 3 of the top 4 spots are gone. But Chelsea is a chance. There's a chance with Chelsea. And I think we've got to try and take that chance. It's going to be difficult. I still think, because of that, though, that's the importance of tonight. Getting top 4 is not going to be easy for United. Because we don't know. I still think we're going to be more inconsistent than Chelsea, so how can we catch them? But the Europa League tonight, on our day, we're a decent side. We've seen that already. And we've got an opportunity tonight to finish top of this group and have an easier draw in February. We cannot refuse that opportunity. To lose to AZ Alkmaar at Old Trafford would be embarrassing anyway. But to lose and not to lose this game and come second in the group would be ridiculous. When Pogba is back, he doesn't even need to play as a CAM. Just tell him to do whatever he wants. That's when he is best and will make us miles better, says Owen J. Be very interesting when Pogba does come back to see where we actually stick Paul Pogba. Like, some people fear that actually Fred and McTominay will miss out and he'll play Lingard still. I think it would be criminal in many ways, in a footballing sense, to allow McTominay and Fred to build the relationship that they've built and then take them out. I do. I think Pogba, and I don't think it suits Pogba playing deep. I think the obvious thing to do when Pogba comes back is to stick him in that Lingard or Mata or Pereira position. That, to me, would be great. Nosy me here. Let me just. I always, when a phone number comes up, I'm always like, who could it be? Oh, no. Imagine if I just gave you the number out and we all spanned it. Let's see if it's a spam caller. I'm very good at this. If a number comes up... oh, they've rung me before. And I spoke to them for 9 minutes and 46 seconds before. That's rather interesting. It's Crime Watch, live on air. Don't know who it is. That's intriguing. I won't even think about top four until we win the matches we should be winning against clubs at the bottom, says Andrew Rossi. And shout out from Australia. I love the content United Stand puts out as you talk about the real issues going on. And that's from Luca. Thanks for the contribution, Luca. Remember, if you want to if you want to make a super chat, you can do that by clicking the $sign. We do try to read all of them out. Obviously, we're appreciative of that. And if you want to join the United Stand Members Club, there is a join button where you can do that. And then when you are commenting, you get a little badge next to your name. Paul Robinson's going for Goldbridge live. Scariest phone call. Yeah, I've had a few weird ones, those, Paul. I'm sure we all have. But I don't know who that is. Let's see if they've left me a message. Oh, they've left me a message. We're going to find out now. Let's find out who it is. I mean, I really am. I'm excited to know who I've spoken to on a phone call that for 9 minutes in November, but I don't recognise the number. DT. Ah, right, yeah. I know who it is now. Somebody who's going to come and do some doors for me next week. That makes sense. Anyway, United have the future best player in the world in Rashford. He is world class, says Afia Williams. I'm loving the Rashford love at the moment, but I must admit there is a big... I do this show every day, and I just take myself back 2 months ago when... If you'd have said that, you would have been ridiculed, and 99% of the people would have called him Trashford and everyone like that. So, yeah, I think Rashford's fantastic at the moment, but I think a lot of people gave up on him a little bit too quick. Not me. He's always been one of my favourite players. I acknowledge the fact he was crap, and I know a lot of people did that, but I always hoped he could get back, and there's still a lot left in him. And it's good tonight that he's getting a break as well. LFC fan from Ireland, love your channel and personality, says John Greenhands. You see, you're probably not that welcome, John, to be honest, by everybody, but I don't really care. I think we have a great channel here, and I think actually as United fans we should take it as a feather in our bow that we have fans of other channels watching and enjoying it, because at least we're doing something right on the channel as a community, because we're nowhere near Liverpool on the football pitch, which is where we want to be. I have voted, Aman, I have voted. Watching from Morecambe, shout us out, says Oliver. Shout out to Morecambe. I'll tell you something about Morecambe, Oliver. I'll tell you something about Morecambe, everybody. The best fish and chips I've had was Morecambe Bay. I went up there in my policing days, and we had to go and interview a prisoner in Lancashire prison. And on the way there, somebody said, let's drop into Morecambe. And we sat on the rocks on the bay, and we had some fish and chips. And it's true what they say, fish and chips from places near the coast are way better. They were lovely fish and chips, they were. It was a bit of a dive, to be honest, but the fish and chips were good. Save the UK coastal towns, Mablethorpe and Skegness and places like that. They're getting a little bit run down. Thoughts on Bradford, Mark, says Kays. I've never been. Shout out Bradford, says Faze. And what's your thoughts about Erling holding talks with Dortmund? Dortmund, says Matija Makovic. We have already spoken about it. I tweeted about this a couple of days ago. You should follow me on Twitter, because I'm very good at finding news before the UK people do. They're always slow. I'll mention it on here anyway. So Bild in Germany was saying that Dortmund are in talks to sign Erling Haaland for £20 million. This has been confirmed a couple of days later by RB Salzburg, Erling Haaland's team, that he has had talks with Dortmund, but it doesn't mean he's definitely going to Dortmund, because apparently Mino Raiola is going to tout him around to a number of other clubs. I personally think he'll end up at Dortmund. I think the plan with Erling Haaland is to step by step increase his value, and when he leaves Dortmund he'll go for about 100 million, probably to United. But we should be jumping in there now, but I think they've got a career path set out for him, and to be fair, look at it. Look at that career path with Erling Haaland. Dortmund is not a bad place to go, is it? By any means. It's a little bit unfortunate for us. We do need that sort of plan B striker. We've hit 595,000 subscribers. Thank you, everybody. We're on that road to 600k. We're going to try and do it before Christmas, but we won't do it without your help. So please subscribe if you are new, bottom right-hand corner. And if you're not new, share it. Share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook. Let's get lots of people involved tonight. I think it's going to be an exciting game. I don't want to see United losing. If we do lose, we come second in the group, and we really do put in jeopardy our chances of winning the Europa League by having to play a harder run to the final. Shout out Plymouth. Have you ever been, Mark? Says Simon Cliff. I have been to Plymouth because it's on the way to Cornwall at the bottom of the M5. And Simon Heldon says, hi Mark, how realistic do you think it is that we will do any signings in January? And who do you think are realistic targets? I've got to be honest with you. I have got no idea, Simon Heldon, as to what our targets are in January, which in some ways is exciting, which in some ways is concerning. Does that mean we're not signing anybody? However, I think if Liverpool are adding a player, like they have done from Salzburg, and they have already got a great squad, and they are already miles ahead in the league, then why the hell are we not adding players when we haven't got a great squad? We're miles behind in the league. And what will annoy me the most, and I'm going to repeat myself here, I've said this numerous times, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needed a couple of players in January last year. He went on an amazing run for 3 months, and I said in January, and many of you did, he's worked a miracle. They should go and buy him a couple of players. They didn't. They expected that miracle to last for 6 months. It didn't. We got an injury crisis and it fell away. That's going to happen again. We need to go and sign some players this very summer, this very January transfer window, if we want to progress as a football club. So I hope that we're going to do it. The problem is when it comes to transfers and it comes to Manchester United, as we know as fans, you can never ever trust this board. So I wouldn't guarantee it. Arsenal have finished top of their group, by the way. So good for Arsenal in that sense, because they've obviously finished top of their group. So yeah, good for Arsenal. They will avoid a tougher game, and that's what we need to do tonight. Oh, you know what? That is gin and tonic, but my beautiful wife, Fatal Vision, is not my wife. I'm just saying thank you for the contributions. I buy my wife an advent calendar every year, which has little gifts in it. You can get it from John Lewis and places like that. This year, she bought me a gin advent calendar. So every day you open up the advent calendar, you get a little bottle of gin, and then the next day you get a tonic. So some of the tonics have been really nice. There's like aromatic tonic and gooseberry tonic and elderflower tonic and normal tonic. But the gin I had tonight was like a raspberry gin. Lovely stuff. So I'm all for that. Next year I want a whiskey one. What is cuter, Baby Yoda or Baby Groot? Says Joe Alexander. Baby Yoda. Mark, what do you think about Odegaard in the CAM role? Says Kjelt Helsland. Odegaard gets mentioned a lot in relation to Manchester United, and I've got no doubt he's a very, very good player. No doubt at all. But he is a Real Madrid player. I know he goes on loan, but he's a Real Madrid player, so I think that negates any signing of him, to be honest. We need to get a win or a draw so we don't get Sevilla, says I Love Trains. And Karen Took the Kids says you've got to sleep with one, marry one and kill one. Martial, Rashford and James. Right, well I'm not killing anybody because that's just silly. So let's say I'm going to drop them in a pond. Yeah, so sleep with one, marry one, drop one in a pond. Again, I'm not going to sleep with Martial, Rashford or James because that doesn't rock my boat, and I'm not going to marry one of them because that doesn't rock my boat, and I'm definitely not going to kill one of them. So that's the answer to my question. None, none and none. I have voted, Fred. Thank you very much. And would be happy to host you. Shout out from Goa, says Graham. Great. If you could steal any Liverpool player, who would you take, Mark? Says Dan Goodman. look, Mane and Salah are absolutely superb players. I'm not going to deny that, but I've always liked Fabinho, and I think he is what United need. We need a centre defensive midfielder. And what's your thoughts about Sander Berg? Says Magsy87. Another good player that I don't think United are looking at. I tell you what, I would love to do that. I mean, it's not on the top of my bucket list. You know, I'd do better things with my time, but I would like access to United's scouting network. You know, like I'm going to do my Football Manager episode 1 as Manchester United manager tomorrow on Mark Goldbridge. That's Football. It'll be live at about 1:30. Join me for that. Right from episode 1, managing Manchester United. If you've never played Football Manager before, I think you'll enjoy watching it because it's so in depth. Like it's so in depth. It really is. I would love to have access to the real Manchester United scouting network database, and I would love to look at who we've looked at and what those reports are and what we're looking for. It would be fascinating reading because we don't seem to be looking at the right players. I'm sure we scout them. I'm sure we have scouted Sander Berg. I'm sure we have scouted. I know we've scouted Bruno Fernandes intensively. I'm sure we've scouted Haaland. I'm sure we've scouted Leon Bailey. But we don't ever seem to go and get those players. And I would love to know the why. Has the summer purchases been the best since Sir Alex Ferguson, says Tom Quist. Well, you know what, Tom Quist? I've got to be fair here. And this is why you've got to always be careful about new signings. It's not even Christmas yet. And at the moment, Harry Maguire's been a decent signing, Wan-Bissaka's been a revelation signing, and Dan James has been a very good signing. But this time next year, where will they be? Will Harry Maguire still be a decent signing? Will Wan-Bissaka still be a sensational signing? Will Dan James still be a very good signing? Because when Mourinho came in, for the first 3, 4, 5, 6 months, everyone was saying Mourinho hasn't made a bad signing. Eric Bailly's fantastic. Pogba's fantastic. Zlatan's amazing. Yeah, Mkhitaryan was a little bit slow, but he never really adjusted, did he? So I think it's still very early days to say any of them would be good. Any of them are fantastic. Mane is much more direct and accurate than Salah. Much better in physical games too. I think Vandy Candy. If you spoke to Liverpool fans, Mane has had a better 12 months, and I think if they had to get rid of one, they would get rid of Salah. Although he is a fantastic player as well. Abdul Kalam says, "Would you sign Sancho or me?" Definitely be Sancho, mate. And Mark, thoughts on Minamino? Spoke about him a few times. Tiger, it's a very good signing for Liverpool. Very efficient yet again. Basically a signing done in a day, isn't it? A bit like, Fabinho was done in an hour. And Akash Singh Parara says, don't want to draw Ajax, so we've got to finish top of the group, which is correct. Mark, you admitted to being Ollie out, but said this week you never said it. How do you actually feel about it? Being totally honest and sugarcoating it for the viewers, says Andy Culkin Hansen. I don't think I ever did say Ollie out. I really don't. If someone shows me the clip, I'll watch it and I'll admit it if I said it. But I've always been very honest about how I feel about Ollie. My first stance has always been that I would rather get rid of Woodward and the Glazers before him, because competent owners would come in and probably sack him anyway. That to me is my biggest frustration. It's very interesting today because I got a bit of stick today because Gary Neville was tweeting out about David Cameron, the former Prime Minister of the country, and said, "You've left us in this mess, you know." And I basically quote tweeted it and said, "I love your political opinions, Gary. It's a shame you won't say it about our club, because our owners put us in a mess and they're still here." That's my big focus, is the ownership of Manchester United. I just don't see us ever getting anywhere where we need to be while we've got people like Woodward and the Glazers in charge, and a couple of good results on the pitch are not going to change that. With regards to Ollie, I've always said I want him to do well. I don't believe he will. And for me, doing well is winning the Premier League, not just a couple of results against Spurs in a 3-month run. It's got to be more than that. And if Manchester United are working towards winning a Premier League title under Ollie, I can't wait to see that. But ultimately, I don't think he's going to get us there. And that's just my honest opinion. I'm not Ollie out. I'm not Ollie out because he's got an opportunity to prove us wrong, and I hope he does prove us wrong. But I don't ultimately think he will be good enough. And also, a lot of that's borne out on experience as a football fan, because you name me a manager that's turned it around, and you've got to go back to 1989 for that to happen. Hi Mark, hope all's well. Just wondering what you think of manager Mr. Glitter. He's very experienced and would give the youth something to think about. I think that's a joke. Add me on Insta, Max_J Jones. We're getting close to kick off. The players are coming out. So excited to see how United get on today. I am excited to see how we get on. There's some really exciting players to take a look at. Garner, Greenwood and Williams. Very young players. I mean, Twansibi almost looks like their dad, even though he's a young player himself. He has got more experience. So excited to see what happens with that. And then the return of Matic and Mata and Ashley Young, players I don't really rate, if I'm honest with you. So how are they going to step up to the pitch today? How are they going to do? I think that's going to be very interesting as well. I'm going to go with a draw. I think United needs... I think it would be ridiculous if United managed to lose this game and finish second in the group. I think that would be a real underachievement from the strong position we've got ourselves into. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to this game. It's not a dead rubber game. I think that because losing would be so bad for us, it's not a dead rubber game. It's an important game, and I think United need to go and express themselves and get maybe a draw or a win would be good. Maybe a draw or a win would be good. Well, it would be good, wouldn't it? Oh, wait a minute. Sorry about that. Something I had to just sort out. Right, we are about ready to kick off. Please do subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. And not just that, let me just say this. You can share the video as well. Share the video, get involved, get your score predictions in as well. I see Chong getting his first goal off the bench, says Leaf Hunter. And I think Lindelof is better than Harry. You, Mark, says AFC Mafia. I think Lindelof is playing better than Harry Maguire at the moment. And, that might be a controversial opinion from us too, but I do agree with you on that. Can anyone in the comments please help me with my fantasy team? Defenders, midfielders and strikers, please help, says Elias Hassan. You might get a few recommendations on that one. You might do. A lot of people going for a United win. What I would say is keep your eye out for their left winger, Idrissi. Very, very good player. AZ Alkmaar are second in the Dutch league at the moment, and they're playing Ajax on Sunday. If they win, they go top. So they're no mugs. They play a good pressing game and they play attacking football. I felt they were a little bit toothless against us in their home leg, but I felt they were the better team. Coop Miners, very good midfielder, probably going to be a future Dutch captain. Stengs, again, very good player, probably going to be a future, not German, he's Dutch, future Dutch star. So Idrissi, Stengs, Coop Miners, keep your eye out for those three players. Two of them play in the midfield. And yeah, we're about to kick off. And welcome to Chops Hal, who's the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And where do you think Marcus will end up, says Toshiba Malazan. In a Manchester United shirt. I don't think Marcus Rashford will go anywhere. And 262 Hunter says this is only AZ Alkmaar. Famous last words, I think, with that one, pal. So we're waiting for them to kick off. Matic is playing even Frost. Yes, he is. Nemanja Matic in the United lineup. You can't see the match here, no. It's called a watch-along. I always notice those comments because we used to get them loads at the start and we don't get them now because I think people realise you can't watch football matches on YouTube because it's illegal to do so. It's a match chat. And Simon Heldon says, do you think there is anything in the rumours we are going for Saul Niguez? Would be a great signing in my opinion. I think there's absolutely nothing in those rumours at all. If I'm absolutely honest with you, I think there's nothing in them at all. So about to kick off. Okay, I did mute myself on purpose there because I was talking to somebody off screen. So we're about to kick off with this one. Please do subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, I've got the timer ready to go. And I'm intrigued to see how this is going to go. And Manchester United need to make sure that they do not lose this game of football. That's the most important thing. A bit of confidence from this game would be good as well, because there's some young players playing, there's some fringe players playing, and you know, it's always good going into this Christmas period. We've got Colchester next week, we've got 5 winnable Premier League games, so it's important that we've got a bunch of players ready to come into the team. And you know, just talking about Lindelof, Twansibi playing today, I think if he hadn't got that injury in October, he may have forced his way into the team anyway. So yeah, it's interesting to see how United are going to play today. But I expect ALKMAAR to pass the ball about well. They press the ball well as well. So it'd be interesting to see how United do. Again, I think, you know, Everton at the weekend are going to sit back and soak up the pressure. ALKMAAR aren't going to play like that. So it might play into our hands at Old Trafford. But Rashford's playing down the middle. Greenwood's playing off the right. Pereira's playing off the left. So that team that we've got up on the right-hand side is the correct one. Welcome to Add Reacts, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. You can do that by clicking the join button. And Ellie Chikmar says it's going to be 3-0 and to Manchester United. Mark, what do you think of signing Jack Grealish, says Amos AV? I think there's 0 chance of that happening in January, to be honest with you. JT Music already saying that Matic is way too slow. And Ollie sparked my passion for the club again. Being a Norwegian supporter of my whole life and growing up seeing Ollie play has made me watch every game again. Loads of credit you for great content, says Daniel Fosnes Hansen. Thank you, Daniel. And sign Bruno and Haaland in January, says me name. That would be fantastic. Well, here is AZ Alkmaar. They're just passing it out from the back along their own penalty box here. And it's forcing United to press higher up the pitch, which is good to see. And United have picked up a free kick here on Garner. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Garner and Williams and Greenwood play tonight. Matic back in. I'm just going to try and keep calm about Matic. He's just a player that I just cannot stand. Go and score a hat-trick for us, Matic. That'd be nice to see. But even the way he runs around, it's like an earthquake, isn't he? It's like Land of the Dinosaur. It's plod, plod, plod. He's like, I'm going to call him Brontosaurus. He's so bloody slow. That's a bad ball by Romero there. And that's a high throw-in for AZ Alkmaar. Andreas has been poor recently and he needs to up his game, says Ryan Wilson. I think the effort levels of Andreas Pereira are never in doubt. I think he is he's quite a tenacious player, isn't he? He came on in the derby and got a yellow card within a minute. So, I think with Pereira, it's just what's his level. I really think with Pereira, when he went on loan to, was it Granada and Valencia, one of those loans should have been to a Bournemouth or a Brighton, just to play in the Premier League week in, week out. That's a good bit of play there by the Sugawara, the AZ Alkmaar player, playing off the right hand side for them. Ball got knocked up to him on the edge of the box. Brandon Williams let him take it down and get a shot off. So easy save for Romero, but I think Brandon probably just needs to get a little bit tighter to him there. But obviously, Brandon Williams picks up a lot of yellow cards as well, so probably just playing a little bit cautiously there. And it would have been a worldie to score. So Twansibi looking assured anyway at the moment. And United just passing it around their own back four at the moment with Brandon Williams into Greenwood and gives the ball away. I think this is going to be a good footballing game tonight. Unlike when we've played Partizan and Astana, they really haven't got lots of quality in their team. AZ Alkmaar have got players who can play football. They've got that Dutch, formula, I suppose. So I think that's going to make it interesting. There are far better number 10s than Pereira, says Curtis Sinclair. There are. And I think that's the important thing about Pereira. It's like, where do you think Pereira's level is? In 3 or 4 years, where do you think Pereira's going to be playing? Do you think he will be playing in the Premier League? Do you think he's good enough for that? Do you think he'll be in the Championship? Do you think he'll be in Italy? Do you think he'll be in France? Do you think he'll be in Holland? What is Andreas Pereira's level? And I think for the last couple of years, we've been very sort of unsure about that. Odigar Ranvik is our latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And welcome, pal. Thanks for that. You can do your super chats and you can join by clicking the buttons. What are perks of joining the members club, says Alex Beldrick? Well, you do get access to our exclusive emojis, which we never seem to see anymore. You also get your little badge next to your name. And you get to support the channel, which enables us to do the things like going to Kazakhstan and getting in press conferences. But Greenwood is away here at the moment. There's Pereira, actually. And it's a good shot, and it's gone out for a corner. That was good play from Pereira. I thought it was Greenwood for a moment because he was driving forward at pace. And I think Pereira certainly has got a lot more pace than Mata and Matic. But then again, so's my dead gran. But the ball falls to him. He drives into space down that left-hand side, stands his defender up and gets a shot off on his left, which, to be honest, didn't have a lot of power. But it's won as a corner, and the keeper's come out and caught it. I just can't wait for that day when we score from a cross or a corner on Harry Maguire's head. And AZ Alkmaar trying to catch us out on the break there with a long kick from the corner. But Young's played it to Brandon Williams and United are back on the ball. And United just settling into this game quite well at the moment. Matic there giving it out wide to Mata. I mean, Mata needs to start. I think to me tonight, Matic and Mata have got to step up because they've been so poor for about a year, maybe even longer, that the money they're on and the experience they've got to step up to the plate. And that's a bad ball by Matic there, giving it away. I've cursed him. I'm an Arsenal fan, but love your content. Big respect, says AdReacts. Thanks for that, pal. Both teams happy to be passing it around the back at the moment. Which I think makes it an interesting game because they're both happy to pass it out. Both teams are looking to press. I think it's probably got draw written all over it. Mark, how much should I donate for you to make me a mod? Says Gwilym Garrigan. Well, I'm not actually in charge with who becomes the mod, really. So you might want to find like Smutty or Snaps or Paul Robinson or Lucas. I thought Idrissi was going to come off there. Bank details. Does United Stand share the Ondi between three guys, says Dennis Curry. What's Ondi? And Mark, are you angry, says Joshua McLean. No. Who's looking like the better side, says Mark Samuel. Well, I think AZ Alkmaar are a good side. I think like a lot of teams that we seem to play that are better footballing sides than us, they're just a little bit toothless up front. But and we saw that in Holland. But they've come and they've to say, oh my God, what is Ashley Young doing there? He nearly gave an assist in his own 6-yard box. Really lucky there, Young. Really lucky. He's messing around with it in his 6-yard box, and he actually passed it to the AZ Alkmaar player, and he just didn't anticipate it. Otherwise, it would have been 1-0, I think. But Alkmaar have definitely turned up, and they're playing confidently. But I don't think they're going to run away with the game or anything like that. I just think it's going to be a test for United, and there's a nice ball over the top here, and Martial is not going to catch that. And Young gets lucky here. They're just going to show it you back here. He's in his own 6-yard box trying to beat people, and he's very lucky. I mean, what is he doing? Captain of the club, messing around in the 6-yard box trying to take people on. This is Ashley Young for you. He always will be an ex-winger. He's not a fullback. He hasn't got the mindset of a defender. Mark, you haven't been banging on the table, which is good, says George Ramos. I don't think I'll be banging on the table tonight. I don't think I'll be banging on the table tonight. I don't actually feel that United will lose this game, because I think it would just be ridiculous to drop that to lose that top spot and make things harder for us. It would just be really, really silly in my mind. So 10 minutes gone. I'd say for me, who do you think's shading the game at the moment? I think the better footballing ability. I mean, I love the way they're passing and moving, AZ Alkmaar. They really are energetic and direct in the way they want to play, and Idrissi gets a shot off there. I just think they're going to be a team that struggles against to put the ball in the back of the net, and that Idrissi's a really good player. I mean, Ashley Young's so scared of him, he's trying to get assists at the moment for AZ Alkmaar. Can't see us winning, says Jake Bullman. And it's I keep calling them PSV. They're not PSV. They're AZ Alkmaar, but they've much the better team in this first few minutes. But they do play a really busy technical game. And confidence as well. I think as well, it's that whole issue again, isn't it, with United? Like, what is our style of play? What is our vision in a game? Because I don't really know what it is. And we have made a lot of changes tonight, and that's always going to be a problem, I agree. But a football club like Manchester City, like Liverpool, and I imagine Chelsea are the same now, from their youth all the way through. And United used to do this as well. From their youth all the way through, everyone plays the same formation, and we might still do it now, but I don't know. I struggle to know what it is that we're trying to achieve a lot of the time, because players look so lost. Mark, what do you think of Adama Traore from Wolves? In my opinion, he has outstanding physical presence and he's very good pace, above average dribbling ability. Think he would link up completely very well with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, says Mark Mack. He's a good player. He's a good player. I just think he's a tad inconsistent for my liking. But I can't deny that he's a good player. I can't deny it. Possession without purpose, says Benjamin Goodman. Well, we haven't looked like having a shot on goal. Again, to me, yet again, correct me if I'm wrong, this feels like United sitting back, soaking up pressure, wanting to hit a team on the break again. Jones on the bench, money well spent, Woodward, says Mr. Beast. Sarcasm alerts. But yeah, again, we're just sitting back and looking to hit a team on the break at home at Old Trafford. It's our plan A. I'm not angry about it. I said this after Spurs and Man City. Spurs had better possession of the ball than us, and we beat them. Man City had way better possession, and we beat them. Do you want to be this team? This is what I said at the weekend after the Man City game, so I'm going to be even-handed when we're drawing a game. Do you want to be a team that hardly has the ball and just hits teams on the break? Because I personally don't. I want to see this. I mean, AZ Alkmaar, I don't think they'll win the game because I don't think they've got enough quality up front. But the way they pass the ball about, you've got to be. If you're a fan of theirs, you've got to be proud of the way their philosophy. Even if they haven't got the quality to win games, at least they play the football in a way that's easy on the eye. United's just, it's just not very inspiring at the moment. And Idrissi, Greenwood's let his man go here, but Young's tracked him. Cross comes in, and that's a throw in. It's hit Young in the face. Their winger looks good because he is up against Ashley Young, says Subs 0. He's a good player. Idrissi is a good player. I did vote Mohamed. I'm not going to tell you who I voted for because I think it's a personal choice, and people get very funny about voting how you vote. So for me, I like to keep politics out of football. You missed my 24 I sent, but you're my favourite creator, says AdReact. Sorry about that, pal. I do try to catch every super chat, but some of them do slip through, and it's never done on purpose. Jake OR says you're definitely a Tory, and Brewston Elliott says he voted Labour. So choose one of those two and go with whatever you want. What I would say is, I didn't go to university. I left school with GCSEs and didn't do A-levels, and I'm from a working class background. So I actually feel quite proud of the fact that people think that I'm a well-educated Tory, because I couldn't have come from a further from that. So it just shows you anything's possible for any of you in life, because I left school with 2 GCSEs and I've never been back. Can we win the Europa League this year, says mbot14. Well, part of me thinks our best chance of winning the Europa League is actually playing people who are better than us week in, week out and just hitting them on the break. Mark, what's your prediction? What's your prediction by this, my favourite? Says get clapped, might boy. Prediction in this game is a draw. I think it'll be a draw, much like the first leg. Or United might nick it. I think United have got the better quality on the attack. But I suspect AZ Alkmaar will walk away with their heads held high again. I think they're a good footballing side. But I was just tweeting there saying United's only plan again is to sit back and hit teams on the break. And against this sort of an opposition, especially at Old Trafford, and against this sort of opposition, we really should be able to get on the ball more. And I do get a bit concerned that we don't actually have any plan to do that. You know, any links to live stream, please, says Anthony De Silva. Well, I'm watching it on BT Sports, mate, so I can't help you with that. Terry Collins says, I can't see the usefulness of Mata. I can't see Mata. So, you know, it's not about the usefulness of Mata. I can't see Mata at the moment. There's a nice ball in there and a good cover tackle by Twansibi. Why do people expect champagne football from Dutch Gold team? Relax, we'll win, says Dean Reynolds. I actually do think we'll win. I do think we'll win, Dean, because I don't think AZ Alkmaar have got the cutting power to score goals, and their striker isn't playing because he's suspended anyway. But United, a very good point from Tim Allen. Are you the Tim Allen who did the Santa Claus and Toy Story? If so, I'm glad you're a United fan. But ho ho ho. But I can't even remember what your point was now, Tim Allen. Yeah, I know, I do. Basically saying that we're very slow with Mata in the team, but we've got Mata and Matic in the team, and that is going to make us slow. Ryan FTW, he does try to play out. Look at the City game. He split the centre-backs wide and played out from a goal kick. Possession will come when we get a good centre midfielder, in my opinion. How long are we going to wait, though? He's been here a year now. Who do I want to face in the Europa League next round? And that was from Faisal Hussein. I want to play the crappiest team there is in the Europa League. I don't care if it's Eskimo FC and we go to Greenland, which is probably in Europe. I don't care where we go. I want to play the crappiest team there is because I want to be in the Champions League next year. Martial's picked the ball up here from a long ball down the channel, and I think he's won a corner. No, it's a goal kick. First 15 minutes could put anyone to sleep, says Michael Sauter. Not on this watch along. We keep it up. We're like Viagra. We keep it firm and up. We keep the mood up anyway. So it might be boring on the screen, but AZ Alkmaar are quite interesting to watch, and we'll certainly make it interesting to watch in the comments. And that's the first time I'm going to shout out for people to subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, subscribe to the channel, and I will be grateful. And please share the video as well. You can do that through clicking the share button underneath. Has anyone got the possession stats? I'm trying to find them, but I want to keep my eye on you lot as well. Not that I don't trust you. Barely had the ball in the first 20, says JROD. I know. Domination, that's why I want to know what the possession stats are. I just can't be... 63 to 37%, says Patrick Cash. Well, it's too early, isn't it, to say anything particular. But I almost feel like, you know, when Mourinho didn't used to pick Martial much, and then he'd pick him in games, but he'd always pick a crap midfield of like Matic and Fellaini, and people would go, Martial's crap, and I'd say, what do you expect him to do when there's zero creativity or pace behind him? And I feel a bit like that about Greenwood tonight and Martial. You know, they've got Pereira, Mata and Matic and Garner behind them, and You know, Garner's playing very deep anyway, and he's only a young kid. Matic and Mata and Pereira to provide the creativity. Is it any wonder the ball just keeps coming back at our back four, who I think have played quite well? I think the back four have played quite well, but for AZ Alkmaar, they've got their touch in very, very early in this game. And they've had so many touches on the ball that they're knocking the ball around confidently, and we just can't get a touch. We don't have the players to play possession football, says the mystery man. We should go and bloody buy some then, because they are winning all the second balls at the moment. They're knocking it around like a training exercise, and United just can't get near them at the moment. And Alkmaar are so comfortable on the ball. They're even happy just knocking it back and going a bit again. It feels like a training exercise, Christos Joseph. It is for AZ Alkmaar. I'm going to actually just have a look on the One Football app, because that will tell me very, very quickly how many touches they've had compared to us. Because I reckon it's going to be something ridiculous already, and we've only been playing 20 minutes. 20 minutes? Manchester United versus AZ. Stats. So it's 63% possession, yeah. They've had 171 passes, and we've had 97. So that's higher for us than I would have thought. I'm quite impressed that we're only 100 behind them. Occasional victories against big teams give fans so much joy. How different are we compared to Wolves from last year or previous? Great against the big teams, but can't win against the lower teams. And Delicate Official says, let me just mention for one that AZ have scored 15 goals in this Euro League campaign. That's more than double Manchester United's offensive output. Yes, but they have been against Partizan and Astana, and I know we struggled to score loads against them, but the one thing United do have is a decent defence, and I just don't feel that AZ Alkmaar will score against our defence, although Garner's just given it away there, and he's given a foul away. And that is something about the youth. I think that you're always going to get that with the youth. If they make a mistake, they're so desperate to correct it that they do give a lot of fouls away. And I think Garner there, showing he's made a mistake and just makes a foul. He's not going to get a yellow card, which is the main thing, but I bring that up because Brandon Williams gets a lot of yellow cards, and people are like, oh, he's reckless. And I don't think it's that. I just think as a young player, if you make a mistake, you almost haven't got that old head on your shoulder to just relax into the game and accept that it's going to happen. Mata and Matic are irrelevant, says Adaruj, and Garner is shot, says Alexi Urso. I live in Holland and have been up to AZ play. They are a good, solid side, says Alex Baldrick. Well, they're the second best team in Holland at the moment. Very, very consistent, and they play Ajax on Sunday to go top. So it's going to be an interesting game. We're not playing very good. Ollie's weakness is the lower team, says Derek Littlejohn. I think what United are struggling with at the moment is that AZ are very confident on the ball, and they like to have the ball. And also, when they haven't got the ball, they're very good on the press. So, and all their players are a lot quicker than ours. So, I mean, look at that pass there. It's in their own penalty box, break down a United attack. There's United players around, and he has the confidence just to play a pass through 3 United players for them to go on the attack again. And there's always somebody looking for the ball. They're not nervous on the ball at all. They're a real joy to watch, and there's always very, very good play from AZ, I've got to say. AZ is playing like I want United to play, young players with a lot of energy and high press, says Simon Helden. Exactly, spot on. I still don't think we'll lose, though. I think that United will still end up coming out on top, because this is the way we play, isn't it? This is the way that we play. We play this this build-up, not this build-up play, this slow build-up play when we get the ball, but the way that we play is this soak up and hit a team on the break. And I think AZ have been so in charge, they'll probably start leaving a bit of space at the back and we'll look to exploit that. That's just what we do. Akil says, should get Koopmeiners, will probably cost less than 30 million. I think Koopmeiners and Stengs are very good players that maybe United should be looking at in the future. They're very, very good. Very, very good. Just looking at the bench there, I would like to have seen Ethan Laird playing tonight. I don't see what Ashley Young at right back offers more than Ethan Laird. And for anyone who says experience, get out and walk. And I'm not giving any taxi fare. Ashley Young I just think he's a very poor defensive fullback. And that doesn't make up for him being a gobby person who swallows bird poo. It just doesn't. Our style of play is to soak up and hit teams on the break. And how does that work with Matic, Mata and Pereira playing, says Steve Lebo? Well, look, the positive of playing Matic and Mata and Pereira tonight was that you could rest McTominay and Fred, who need a rest. But unfortunately, they just seem unable to grasp an opportunity. I can't remember the last time Mata played well. I really can't. I think Chelsea around March, but that was a one-off in itself. Matic is just slow. And Pereira, to be fair to Pereira, what is Pereira doing playing on the left wing? This is a byproduct of the fact that we didn't buy players in the summer. And midfield was where we didn't buy players, but we also let Lukaku and Sanchez go and didn't replace them. So we're ridiculous. I mean, I would have played Chong. I would have played Chong on the left. And yeah, people might say Chong's not good enough, but at least he's a bloody winger. Like, Pereira's not a winger. So you're playing somebody who's not a winger out on the wing, and they're not difficult to play against, are they? In fact, Roy Widner's just said we could have played Chong, and I would have played Chong because I think, has Pereira, people will say Chong's crap, he's no good, which I don't necessarily agree with, but ultimately, Mata, wow, that's wild and wide. Good head down there, I think, from Greenwood, and Mata's got it on the volley. Look, he ain't quick, he doesn't get involved in games, and then the ball bounces up for him on the edge of the box and he hasn't even got the technique anymore. But I think I said Mata's been done a long time anyway. I think as a vlog writer he's got a great future, but as a footballer I think he's been done for a long time. But yeah, I mean, Pereira's not playing well in that position anyway, so why would Chong playing cost us anything? I thought we were the home team. Weak so far, says Don Island. Lack of leadership again is the problem as well, isn't it? There is a lack of leadership. Here's Martial, and he's got tackled there. And it'd be interesting to see how Martial and Greenwood get on in this game, because I think one thing that Rashford is better than Martial at is that he is... I think Martial gets stuck in a groove sometimes. If the game's not going well for him, he tends to go, quiet. And there's a lot of players like that. But Rashford does tend to, even if he's having a bad game, he'll just keep going and going and going and can produce that moment of magic. But to be fair, I think Martial has been working on that. And here he is, Martial. A little bit of luck. And I think there's going to be a yellow card here. Martial looked like he was going to get away there. He didn't, but good chance. Definitely a foul. Please do share the video if you're watching. Underneath the screen there is a share button. You can share it on Twitter and you can share it on Facebook. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Joshua McLean says Mark is getting angry. Oh no, I'm not angry. Matic is absolutely useless, says Luca FLG. I haven't even noticed Matic really playing, apart from that volley from Mata. Haven't really noticed he's playing. Got a free kick from distance here. I mean, this is something that I've always felt that Andreas Pereira is quite good at, and at the moment he's not very good at a lot of things, but he has got good set piece delivery, I always feel. So I think he's going to hit this. It's within range and it's hit the wall. Poor free kick. But Maguire's got it. Whips in quite a decent cross there, to be fair, and it's well defended. So a bit of I wouldn't call it pressure, but a bit of ball in the final third of AZ Alkmaar for United at the moment. Philip Kronstedt says, would like to see Ollie more active. Games like, it seems like he's having a watch along with Carrick and McKenna. I don't think Ollie, maybe he will become that manager in time, but I don't think he really is that manager that's on the touchline a lot, is he? And I don't know whether that's because of a lack of confidence. You know, Mourinho spends a lot of time on the touchline, and Klopp and Pep, and they're very good managers. And maybe Ollie doesn't do that because he doesn't feel, you know, you expose yourself really. Not in that way, you don't drop your pants or anything like that. But as a manager, if you go and stand on the touchline in front of 75,000 people, trust me, you do feel exposed, like everyone's got their eyes on you, probably because they have. And maybe Ollie hasn't got the confidence to do that. I do, when I see clips of Ollie on the bench, I do detect this search for, it's a poor ball by Twan Sabi there. It's gone out for a throw-in. Although he's on the touchline with Mike Phelan, he always seems to have people with him that he's talking to. Because he's inexperienced. He's doing it right now. He's got Mike Phelan with him. He's talking to Mike Phelan. He's going, yeah, giving him ideas. This is Ollie. And this is not a criticism. This is Ollie. He is inexperienced. And I think that he does use Carrick and Phelan and McKenna as a security blanket because he's inexperienced himself. Maybe he will grow into that in the future. I mean, against Man City, he was up there on the touchline on his own, wasn't he? Anyway, it's flown by this half an hour. United seem completely leaderless out there, says Alex Boldra. I think it's one of United's big problems, a lack of a leader. I really do. I think it's one of our biggest problems at United, having a lack of a leader. I mean, Ashley Young is captain. He's not a captain. I presume Ashley Young is the captain tonight. I personally would have stuck it with Harry Maguire, but no, it's gone back to Ashley Young, which I think, again, is stupidity, because you give the captaincy to Harry Maguire against Manchester City and you beat them, and then you're playing AZ Alkmaar and you give it to Ashley Young. Like, can we have a bit of continuity? United's passing is poor, says Unheard. So painful to watch us tonight, says Alex Yummy. And can't they please send Matic to warm up the bus, says DJ John T. I think he's sat driving the bus at the moment. You know when a bus is parked and it's just waiting for people to get on? It's not moving, it's just running the engine. That's Matic, really. I think he's going to have to change it second half, though. I mean, if he could just bring a Fred or a McTominay on, I think it would change the game to have a little bit more ability and speed in that midfield. In fairness to Garner, I think it's a bit like a suicide mission, isn't it? Because he's got absolutely nothing around him. Greenwood's basically playing as a right wing back a lot of the time. That's a good ball by Mata. And if we don't fashion a chance here, we've got an overload with Ashley Young. Into Mata. Oh, what? I don't know how Mata doesn't score there. It's a good bit of play by Ashley Young to square it back to him. I mean, Mata feeds him in down the right. Young cuts it back to him. Mata looks like he's going to pass it in the bottom corner, and there's a block on it. I have to watch this back, but is Mike Phelan a leader, says H. I sacked Mike Phelan straight away on my Manchester United career mode, which you'll see tomorrow. Football Manager. I've already sacked Mike Phelan. Nothing against Mike Phelan in real life, but his rating on Football Manager is average, and I wanted a superb assistant manager, and there was one available for free, so I sacked Phelan. You'll see that tomorrow. Mark Goldbridge, That's Football, 1:30. Make sure you tune in for that. To be fair, we're playing with 7 men tonight. There's 3 OAPs group on the field with their Spanish tour guide Andreas, says Nick P. United actually have started to get into this game a little bit the last 5 to 10 minutes. Here is Pereira. Well, he's lost momentum now because he took too long, but Brandon Williams has got it into Matic, into Mata, who that's one of the comediest moments of the season. Matic to Mata, and Mata played a 1-2. Matic didn't even move, or probably tried to move, but has got all the acceleration of a dead horse. It was one of the funniest things I've seen in this game. Matic and Mata trying to play a 1-2. And to be fair to Mata, the 1-2 was good, but there's just no way Matic is going back for that ball. If that had been Fred or McTominay, it would have worked. Just don't. If Matic gives you the ball, don't play a 1-2. He's never going for the return run. He just can't. He'll get there next year. Pereira's come into the game a little bit more. He's come a little bit more central. And I think that's a good idea from him because it's a lovely switch of the play to Ashley Young there by Pereira. He can whip across in. There's nobody there. It's going to go for a corner. But Pereira's took it on himself to come a little bit more centrally, which I think is a good idea because he's getting nothing out on the wing. And United have looked a little bit more dangerous. I mean, AZ Alkmaar haven't actually got hold of the ball lately. I mean, that was a crap shot by Mata, to be fair. I thought the block on him was a good block. It wasn't. He's tried to pass it in the bottom corner and it ain't worked out. Oh, I mean, this sort of game is the sort of game. Harry Maguire winning a header from a corner there, but it's got all the strength of a horse's fart, which is probably quite. It's not going to be that strong, is it? Look, when Mata's got space, he can still play a pass. But in a high-intensity game of football, he's out of the game more than he's in it. And that's why he's done at the highest level. He should go and play in the MLS. He'd be a decent player there. But we have started to press AZ a little bit better because their passing has sort of gone off the boil a little bit this last 5 to 10 minutes, like I say. Although they're coming forward down the right-hand side now and they've exploited our press quite well. Little slip pass. And goal kick. Good defending there from Brandon Williams. Matter is old, says Alone Time, Peace Mind. Willem Garrigan says, Mark, please say where my Welsh gang at. And Ryan Bucko says, I wish you were my dad. You never know, Ryan. You never know. I was wild in my youth. And bring Rashford on, put Martial on the right, Rashford left, and Greenwood through the middle, says Alistair Durham. I feel that Martial and Greenwood are very isolated in this game. There's an offside there. Players who can't play good should be shipped out immediately, says Risa Khan. And all the strength of a horse's fart, says James Taylor. I meant to say butterfly's fart, but I still think horse's fart works. It's not going to be that strong, is it? If anyone knows how strong a horse's fart is, let us know. But I doubt it's a bullet. It was hardly a bullet header, is it? If it's as strong as a horse's fart. What I'd like to see in the second half from United is to get a couple of better players on, because I think with a couple of better players we can go and win this game. And let's not forget, we don't want to lose this game. We want, I'm happy with a draw because we finished top of the group, but I'd much rather we won it. And I think if we did bring a McTominay or a Fred on, it would make that midfield a little bit more dynamic, and I think we could get hold of this game a little bit better. Mata's shot power is weaker than a butterfly's fart, says Ollie Jacob Hodge. I'd say it's got the strength of when you open a bottle of very fizzy drink for the first time, says Matthew McFadden. I don't know, that can be quite strong, Matthew. Have you ever done that before, when you open up a bottle of sparkling water or lemonade and you try and put your mouth on it to stop it fizzing? Don't ever do that again. You just make yourself look a right fool. They're on the attack here, AZ. No clear-cut chances for either team. To be fair, bloody hell! What's going on there? Idrissi cuts in and he puts in a right P-roller of a cross that goes sort of curling towards the back post. Nobody wants to touch it. It's one of the worst crosses in the world, really. But it ends up just going right the way through the 6-yard box. And I tell you what, anybody could have got on the end of that. Welcome to Roy Widner. He's the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And love your content, says Golden Gaming Nation. Please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Share the video underneath as well. There's a share button. We have got fan cams after the game. Michael Jones says he's tired, Sally. 87% possession for AZ, says Ijon. It definitely isn't. I'd say it's come down. I reckon it's probably about 60% now, because United have had a little bit more of the ball the last 10 minutes. Gerard Fitzgerald says that back four is making the defence very nervous. Who do you think's got the most powerful fart in the world? Hippodrome says a tiger's fart is pretty strong. Who's measuring? Like, you're hanging around zoos, standing near arses, and who's got the most potent one? I imagine an elephant's fart is pretty big. And it's a nice stretching of the ball to Idrissi here. Twansibi's across there. I've got more confidence with him than I have. It's a poor pass anyway. But they're still on the attack, coming down the right-hand side now. Good block by Brandon. Still the better footballing team, AZ, when they get on the ball. But United have been a little bit better at winning it back the last 10 minutes, to be fair. They couldn't have been any worse. The first 20 minutes we were shocking. Couldn't get on the ball at all. But been a little bit better this half. This last 10 minutes, like I say. Good player, that Idrissi. I don't know whether he's Dutch. I don't know. I think he's early 20s. I'm answering questions people aren't answering here. Would you let Ronaldo fart on your face, says Daniel Hickman? Why wouldn't, Daniel? That's disgusting. It's fetish sexual things that men do with each other. I don't go that way. I wouldn't even let a lady do it. And I do go that way. Do I think Ancelotti's a good fit for Arsenal, says Isaiah Edwards? I think he would be a very good signing for Arsenal as a manager, not as a player. He's a little bit old. Good bit of play by AZ here. Whips a cross in and puts it over the bar. I tell you, this is the thing with AZ. I remember this in the first leg. Very good into the final third, but don't have the finishing ability. And they carved us open a little bit here. They've got the overlap with their right winger. He whips a cross in, and Twansibi's lost him. And a better connection, and he could have caused a problem for Romero there. This is why I'm Ollie out. Don't care who's on park for United. We are sitting back and playing like an away team. We should always be on the front foot at home, says Dazu W. And another shot from them there. Bring on Schneider, says Robin Thompson. Shout out, did you put me on timeout, says Toberman Gamer. Shout outs, did you put me on timeouts? Gonna get some shout out. I could have thought of something better there, but I couldn't. I was going to swear and didn't want to do it. Nobody's put you on a timeout, no. Mark, can't Rashford be a centre attacking midfielder? No! Well, how can he be a centre attacking midfielder? Do a South African accent, says Marcus Schulter. The only South African accent I can do is from Alan Partridge, where he says, Tomato? No, Alan, you can't. You can't. You can't. I can't do it. I can't do South African, to be honest with you. Do you think we could do with a different type of centre forward? Maybe one that's more direct, as we have a lot of pace up front, says Ook Elite. It's very hard with Manchester United because, to be fair, we are a work in progress, and it's very hard to know what we need. I keep saying this. Norwich beat Manchester City. Wolves beat Manchester City. Teams have beaten Spurs. Just because you do that doesn't mean you're a top 4 team. I don't know what United are. And United certainly don't know what they are. And I think a lot of United fans don't know what we are. I don't know whether we are a mid-table club that can get results against the big teams, or whether we're a top 4 club that's just been, poor against lower teams. I don't know where we are. I don't know how good our players are. I don't know whether people like Marcus Rashford, Wan-Bissaka, Anthony Martial, David De Gea, Paul Pogba, I believe that these players could probably get into a top 4 club. The rest of the players I don't know. And we're only going to find out by how we progress as a football club. Jack Brown 852. Which one would you rather keep, Lingard or Pereira? I think same players, good off the bench, but not starters, and play some same position. Great work, Mark. I think you're right. I think in relation to Mata, Pereira, and Lingard, 2 have got to go. 1 stays, and you bring in a better signing. I think United's problem is we've got too many players who are around the same level. Who, on their day they can be really good, but that day doesn't come around very often. And I think with Pereira, Mata and Lingard, you've basically got the same player. We could do with getting rid of him. 2 of them, I think. Punched corner. Comes to Garner. To Pereira. He's going to try and whip this. It's a bad ball, but he's won it back, Garner here. He's done very well, Garner. Oh, nearly got flicked in by Matic, who again has got all the technique of a cement mixer. And now they're coming away. My dad says bring Scholes and Keane on in the midfield, says that happy guy. I tell you what, Paul Scholes in this game would probably do a better job than some of our than Mata and Matic, to be fair. A minute to half time. Would be better to play the youth in the position they play in rather than first team members out of position. Square pegs round holes, says Chris Foster. And hi Mark, greetings from the Faroe Islands. What do you think about buying St Maximum to play on the right? Says Halle Haugan Merson. To be honest with you, I haven't really paid a lot of attention to Newcastle this season, so I don't even know if St Maxim plays week in, week out. But Newcastle have been doing very well. What I would say is these links to Sean Longstaff really do worry me, because I spoke to somebody in the week and they were like, well, to be fair, he might be quite decent. Newcastle are doing well at the moment. And I said, yeah, but he doesn't play. He's been injured and he's been on the bench. Newcastle have been doing well, but he doesn't even play for the first team. So to me, it's about who's playing regular football, not potential, because we've already got players that are potential. In relation to this game, though, I think United have embarrassed themselves a little bit. And second half, I would be looking to bring players on who can, get hold of that midfield. Hi Mark, would you keep re-sign Young and Matic if we couldn't make more than 2 signings in the summer, being that those signings are a striker and a winger, says Austin Flores. Petulantly I could say no, get rid of Young and Matic no matter what. I'd rather put up a second-hand tent in the midfield. But Cross came in there and I think Twan Sebi got on it, but there was no power. Ends up in the keeper's arm. Keeper's Arms, which would be a good name for a pub. It is half time and it is 0-0, and I think that United certainly got better in the last sort of 10 to 15 minutes of that half, but they really couldn't have got any worse. Disappointing half from United. Get in the comments and tell us what you think. But I thought that United really... Ollie's walking off waving at people. Doesn't seem that interested. Ollie is just walking off, chewing his gum, and maybe he's living off those 2 wins now. I don't know. But I'm not going to get irritated by his attitude to us being 0-0 at half-time, but... I do agree with what a lot of people have said, that you expect a little bit more from Manchester United at home against a team that realistically is playing in the Dutch league and shouldn't really be a comparison for Manchester United. But at the moment they are. So, I think in the second half, I don't think, and this is the second time we've played AZ this season, I don't think they've got the quality to score against us. They didn't do it in their place. They're a good footballing side, but I don't think they've got the quality to hurt us. So, we could keep playing the way we are and grind out a boring 0-0, or we could actually try and use the opportunity to, go toe-to-toe in a way against the team that plays good possession pressing football. That's what these games should be. If they're not, highly important, then use it as an opportunity to try and, find a way to play decent football. So Maxim is like a Memphis Depay type player, says Leaf Hunter. And Roy Keane, simply the best, says, I hope we don't play like this against Everton. We'll get battered. And hopefully in the second half, when AZ Barcelona start getting tired, an injection of pace from Rashford and creativity from McTominay can see us through, says Vin Bra. And I think you'll be right about that. I think that Manchester United probably will end up winning this game. And that's why I said in the first 20 minutes, look, let's not all be over negative, because United could win this game quite easily. But the bigger question is, against Spurs, we won. They had more possession. Against Man City, we won. They had more possession. Against AZ Alkmaar, we're drawing. We might go on to win. They'll have more possession. Are you happy being that football club that just sits back and soaks pressure up and hits teams on the break? Because to me, I want to see Manchester United playing a little bit more like AZ. And we've got the better squad. But they're always looking for a pass. It's simple. I mean, they're not playing tiki-taka like Pep, which takes a lot of coaching. They're just playing pass and move in their grids, moving into space, confidently wanting the ball, and United are just unable to do that. When we're in possession of the ball, you're wondering, when's the bad pass going to come? When's the heavy touch going to come? We don't look good on the ball. And AZ Alkmaar, They're just knocking it around. And yeah, they've given the ball away a few times because that's going to happen when you play risky passes. But they all look confident on the ball, from their goalkeeper to their striker. And we don't. AZ is not a bad team, Mark. Second in the Eerste Division, 3 points behind Ajax this season, says Ketil Helsland. No, they're not a bad team. But I still think we should be expecting more from Manchester United. And I'm sorry if people think that's a bit ambitious. It's the perfect time. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic as Lazio did not qualify for the knockout stages, says Dylan Brett. I've heard nothing that United are interested in Milinkovic-Savic. We weren't in for him in the summer. That was just Paker talk. He was a player that Jose Mourinho liked, but I don't think he fits in with United and Solskjaer's profile. And Orlando Anglin says, why is Mata and Matic so slow? Are they even moving? And this is not Ollie's fault. Well, they are slow. And I tell you what, there was a point in that first half where I was thinking about ringing 999 and getting an ambulance to go to Old Trafford because I was going to report, just to check out if they've actually got a pulse, because they have been very, very slow. But why are we surprised? Like, I didn't see anybody today when Matic and Mata were selected saying, you never know, they could turn this around. You never know, they might have a good game, but they ain't turning it around. They're not going to find 2 yards that they buried and there's a headstone on their pace. It's gone. It's gone. If they're FIFA players, they shouldn't have a quicker pace rating than 50. They ain't never getting that back. So they can go to Russia and do a bit of doping. They're still not getting that pace back. It is gone, and that's always going to be the case. Bloody hell, we were awful, Mark. What the hell, says Jay Singh. We're back to Villa-like performance, says Stephen Davis. Can't complain about playing on the pitch. It's the manager and the owner that are shit, says Tim Shea. I think what I would say is that there's a very different performance to what I think we'll see against Everton, because Everton will not play like AZ Alkmaar. AZ Alkmaar press the ball and play a possession style of football. Everton will not press the ball as much, and they will look to soak up our pressure and hit us on the break, which means we'll have to play in a totally different way. United tonight are playing like we played against Spurs and Man City. We are wanting to hit them on the break and soak up their pressure. But I don't think AZ Alkmaar are that good in the final third, so we're not getting the ball in the final third as lot to hit them on the break. So it's made us look a little bit redundant. I think the Everton game will be very different. Against Everton, we're going to have to find a way to be good on the ball. This is what happens when you have no depth, says Andrew Rossi. Well, we know that. I think the most important thing tonight is not to go and lose the game, and I would be very surprised if we managed to do that, to be honest with you. We had a very interesting week last week, and I think that I am expecting us to... I mean, I don't want to talk about Everton too much because that's all to come, but I am expecting us to get a result against them. I can't envisage how Manchester United go and do what they've done before again, which is, get good results against big teams and then, absolutely blow it against the lesser teams. And there is a scenario, of course, where we could lose, but I'm not expecting it. They're vulnerable, Everton, and we've got to take advantage of that vulnerability. I'm on my phone because I'm just checking how many subscribers we've got. Please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. We're on that road to 600k, and we're trying to hit that 600k by Christmas. 600,000 subscribers. We're on 595. Bottom right hand corner if you're new. Please do subscribe. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got match reactions, previews, transfer news, latest news, fan cams, all sorts of shows, call-ins. If you are new, it's a fantastic community. You're really going to love it. Every day there's content. So please subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. And if you're not new, there's a share button. Please share it on Twitter and Facebook. Would you take Ancelotti, says Daniel Malone? Well, my answer to that is no. And my basis of that is that Ancelotti is available now, and Manchester United are not looking for a manager now. But it's always timing with United, isn't it? Because let's imagine if United had lost to City and Spurs. United were going to sack Ollie. I know that. They were going to sack him if we lost to Spurs and Man City. They were preparing to do it. So if we'd sacked Ollie on Monday, who's available? Ancelotti and Pochettino. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be opposed to either of those coming in. But it's all about timing. Ollie's not going anywhere. And by the time we get rid of Ollie, Ancelotti and Pochettino will be in jobs. So it's irrelevant, isn't it? Luke Valentine says, "Hi Mark, watched your channel for over 3 years now. I don't think Ollie is the man to take us forward with our rebuild. Tactically, he's not there." And Ben Mitchell says, "Ollie out, no plan B. What world-class player would want to sign and play for him?" And Magic Eye says, "Mark, I honestly think we're going to be very disappointed by the January transfer season. We have no prospects while title contenders are looking good." I said it in the first half about Ollie, and I've been saying it for weeks. He has got no plan B, and this is not a debate point. He has got no plan B. His plan A is sit back, soak up, and hit teams on the break, and that's basically what he does. And until he finds a plan B, we're in trouble, because it doesn't matter whether you're Norwich or whoever, then, you know, and I know we beat Norwich, but if teams know how you're going to play, it makes them easier to deal with you. And these teams do know how to deal with it. He's got to find a plan B, and he's got to find it quick. And also in defence of Ollie, I said this when we appointed him, and it's very obvious now, he is inexperienced. And you watch him on the touchline, and they're showing clips of him now. McKenna, Thielen, Carrick, they're always close by, and he's always referring to them. And I know Klopp has done it in the past, and Pep does it with Arteta, and Mourinho has done it. But there's not enough time I see Ollie out on his own. It's strong in his own conviction. And I think at the moment, as a manager, he's learning on the job. He's a work experience guy. He's learning on the job, and he's got security blankets with him. And Ollie's got to find who he is as a manager, and he's also got to find a plan B, because at the moment we're just too easy to play against. Hooray says that can't expect too much with Matic, Pereira and Mata. In my opinion, none of them would get into the AZ starting 11, which I think is a fair point. And Mark, do you think Williams is good enough to be ahead of Shaw, says James Lane? I don't. I know that's a controversial opinion, but I actually do not think that Brandon Williams should have that sort of pressure on him at all. I think that Brandon Williams is a player that in the future could be good, but at the moment I think that we are, you know, he's going to have good days, he's going to have bad days. And I think that, you know, realistically, whilst that's the case, playing him in a game like this, play Luke Shaw against Everton, play Williams against Colchester, share the load until he's ready to take it on. And I don't think Greenwood's ready yet, and I don't think Garner's ready yet. So that's how I feel about it. Brandon Williams hopefully will be a very important player for us in the future. Right, super chat coming in here from Smander. Anyone who thinks Twansebi is pushing for Lindelof's place can think again. Nervy centre-back can go back on loan. Even Smalling's a better backup centre-back. He's not, to be honest, you know, you've got to be honest, he's not had the best of games tonight so far. But I think what I like about Twansebi is, for somebody who's very young, that season on loan at the Championship has been good for him. And in terms of centre-backs, he is still very, very young. And it's different when you're a centre-back, and it's different when you're a midfielder than it is if you're a winger or an attacker. If you look through history, there aren't that many established centre-backs who are 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 at the top level. There are a few, but there's not many, and I know people will shout out people like De Ligt, and Varane was quite young, and Rio was quite young. But traditionally, centre-backs, they're coming through at like 23, 24. You look at attackers, your Mbappes, your Messis, your Ronaldos, your Rooneys, your Michael Owens, your Greenwoods, your Rashfords. You know, they're doing it in their late teens, sometimes as early as 17. So, you know, Twansebi is still very much a work in progress. I have sort of detected that there is a feeling within the management of United that they'd like to fast track him in and start playing him more regularly. But when you do that with any young player, you're going to get inconsistency. You know, I'm not saying that Brandon Williams and Twansebi and Greenwood and Garner won't be United first teamers of the future, but if you chuck them in now, you'll get occasional good games and you'll get occasional stinking games, because they're inconsistent, and that's what youth is. And the most important thing with these young players as well, and we do say this a lot, is it's very difficult for Brandon Williams, Axel Twansebi, Greenwood and Garner to come into a game like that tonight and impose themselves on it when the senior pros around them are playing crap. Like Matic, Mata, Young, they're not playing well. And that doesn't help Mason Greenwood. That doesn't help James Garner, and it doesn't help Brandon Williams. If they've got players like that are playing well around them, then that calms them down as well. Tyrone says, boring Man United. Ollie looked like a tactical genius in the first games. What happened, says Crimson Tiger. And leave Poch alone. He is not coming, says Hamas Ratos. And Daniel Magisha says, I love the broadcast and the United Stand revolution, so to say. But bruv, take it easy on Ollie. Yes, he's inexperienced. Yes, he was relegated with Cardiff. But he is back at the biggest club. I don't know whether that's sarcasm. And why even play Matic, says Hero Pogba. 85 says Corbyn in and Ollie out. Well, you'll know in an hour, mate. Well, the exit poll is normally quite accurate. I think we could be in for a surprise, to be honest with you. You just don't know. And Ollie's at the wheel, says Ayub Muse. And what's going on with our fans, Mark, says Danny McLean. I don't know. And Hayder Official. Sorry, that's whizzed by. Says, would you take Rio Ferdinand as a Man United manager? No. I don't see why we would do that. Dennis Curry is the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Welcome to the club, pal. You get a little badge next to your name, which changes each month, you remember. And bring Fred and Chong on in place of Matic and Mata and see the difference in the play of Garner, Williams, Twansibi and Greenwood, says Embrace the Fury. Players are coming out at the moment. Akshay Chantry says maybe we need a feeder club that can find and grow better talent like Salzburg, etc. do, where youth can go for loans and gain experience. I think we should have loaned Chong and Gomez in the summer. I've said that before. I think that was a really obvious thing to do. Players coming out second half. I think he could really make an obvious change for me, and he could bring on a Fred or a McTominay in the second half and just grab hold of that midfield, because I don't see us grabbing hold of that midfield with the midfield that we've got. And I think we would see an improvement with a Garner or a Garner if we did that. But Ollie looks very relaxed. I think he's still living off those 2 wins last week. He looks absolutely composed. So, kick off. Let me get a timer ready. Bang. Kick off. Come on. We ain't got all day. Let's get on with it. Come on, ref. So, I think United are going to nick this 1 or 2-0. I think it's going to be one of those games where we play really badly, we soak up the pressure, and then we hit them on the break. Hayder Official says, do you like Ollie's tactics? I'm going to flip that very good question and ask the live comments. Do you like Ollie's tactics, and what don't you like about it? Get in the comments. What I would like to see from United, he's not made any changes. What I would like to see from United in this half is better movement of the ball. You know what we're trying to play? Long ball. You watch that phase of play there. I'm going to keep this for the match reaction, right? First few seconds of the second half, right? Look what happens when Maguire and Twansibi or Young and Williams get it. Matic and Mata start moving towards the halfway line for a long ball. I mean, that's terrible. What's Mata doing here? Oh, God, he's so slow. You watch AZ Alkmaar when they've got the ball. They want to play triangles all the time. There's always a pass within 10 metres of them. United play totally different. Totally different. We're looking to hit a long ball, or we're looking to play silly little passes that aren't on. There's not enough options for the back four when they've got it. Like, here's Harry Maguire now. He's got the ball. He's got to bring it forward. There's not really a pass on for him. So he goes to Williams. What's Williams' pass now? He's got to run with it because there's nothing ahead of him. And then he doesn't get the foul, but it's confused. It's confused. My son is with his school watching his first live game tonight, says Mike Thomas. Yeah, there's a lot of empty seats. Oh, it should have been 1-0. Cross came in. Must have got stuck under Twansibi's feet. And Stengs, with what was a tap-in, he probably just saw it quite late, does get it on target, and it goes straight into the hands of Romero. Should have been 1-0 to them. Might have been marginally offside, to be fair. I think Twansibi's got to cut that cross out a little bit better. But now it's United on the attack with Matic into Garner. You know, with United as well, everybody wants to take a touch before they play the pass. What's wrong with first touch passing? This is why our play is so laboured, because everybody takes a pass. Everyone takes a touch. Thoughts on Roy Keane becoming coach assistant, says Big Mick? I doubt it'll happen, pal. It's first touch and pass with United, which is why it's all so slow in the build-up. Everyone takes a first touch, apart from Matic, who takes about 50. No one's got the confidence or the awareness that when they receive the pass, they're already looking at their next pass, which amazes me, because I know football's played at levels, but when I'm playing five-a-side, some of the lads and ladies I play with, you know, you're receiving a pass and you're already looking where somebody is before you've got the pass to knock a first-time ball. No one really wants to play a first-time pass with United. Everyone wants to take a touch. It's touch and pass, or two touch and pass. Look what happens if you start to play a pass first time. It opens up spaces, but we don't have the confidence to do it, and I don't know why we don't do that. It's always very measured. United are on the attack here with Ashley Young. He might get a cross in here. He's done quite well. Good. It's not really a good cross, is it? The height on it. Nobody can head that. Oh, Pereira. Might have got a nick for a penalty there. It's not a penalty though. Puts the cross in, wants a handball. There's no way he's going to get that. It's now gone. You're not having a bit of the possession here, but AZ Alkmaar don't look like they're bothered at all by it. And you just question, have United got the creative players to do anything? Here's Matic driving forward, a crap pass again. And they break through quite easily. Look at Matic tracking back. It's like someone going backwards. Stengs leaves Garner for dead. Nice little slip pass. He's going to, I think Maguire's done quite well with his positional there. Should be a sign Matic Matera through, says Jackson Brett. We've got to be a little bit careful in this game, because losing it would be, I wouldn't say catastrophic, but it would be unnecessary to lose a game like this and finish second in the group and put yourself in a difficult position for the knockout stage. You know, let's just let's just get that point or that win. And I haven't seen the urgency from United. Maybe United came into this game, to be fair, and thought, you know, as long as we don't lose, a draw will be fine. And maybe that's why the attitude has been a little bit lazy, knowing that we haven't got to go and win the game, and a draw will do. I don't know. Maybe I'm clutching at straws, but Matic has just played a first-time pass there, which straight away when somebody does do that, though, you feel there's momentum because the game moves quicker. Nice little ball here from Garner. He's found Greenwood. He's got a 1v1. I think he's going to commit him here. It's a nice touch. Martial. Oh, that was the best move of the game from United. Martial should score. Lovely pass by Garner. Gets Greenwood in. Stands his man up. Finds the pass. And Martial should score there. Should be 1-0. And it would have been a very good goal from United. He's got to score from there, really. Well, at least United have created a chance there, and that might just give us a little bit of a push, a little bit of momentum to go and do it again, because that's our best chance of the game. You could say it was probably the best. Well, Steng's chance was good as well. Both coming in the second half, but I think Martial should be scoring that. He's got to be fair, the technique is difficult because he's got very little backlift to get it on target. But once he's taken it down, I think he'll feel he should have done a little bit better. Alex Production says United Stadium is legit empty. Where are all the fans you are talking about? I don't think anyone's talking about any fans, mate. That's the first I've heard of it, to be honest. So unless you're like unless you're some salty City fan who's trying to get over getting thumped in the derby, I don't know what your point is. It's a Thursday night before Christmas. It's pissing it down with rain. United have qualified. A lot of our support travels from all over the country some abroad, a lot from Ireland. A lot of them just probably didn't want to fancy it. It's Christmas party season as well. United haven't particularly been playing that well recently, so maybe a few people just didn't fancy it tonight. Good bit of play by Pereira there. Mata into Pereira. Matic, lovely play. Oh, Young, yes, lovely goal. Well done, Manchester United. There, that was decent play from United at last. And to be fair, there's a comedy element to this. They're often called the three OAPs, but they're the three scoundrels, or so I should speak. But we've got the three amigos there because basically it's Matic to Mata, the cross, and Ashley Young puts it in. So comedy moment for Manchester United in a very good way. I mean, to be honest, it all starts off with Andreas Pereira with a brilliant bit of skill in the corner. Finds Mata. Mata gives it to Pereira, who gives it to Matic. First time pass into Mata, whose cross is there, and then Ashley Young on the back post to steer it into the net. It's a good goal from United. I've got to say, it's a good goal. Don Ireland says Matic refuses to use his right foot. It's so frustrating. Everything has to go to the left with him. But the goal, roll on uncertainty and false hopes. You never walk alone, says Johan Abraham. It is 1-0 to Manchester United. And I did say, despite us playing poorly, I did think that I don't feel that AZ Alkmaar have got anything in the final third to cause us a problem. And United 1-0 up. And Ollie giving Carrick a high five like it was all part of the plan. Yeah, all right, Ollie. But it is 1-0 to Manchester United, and that's the main thing. It's all part of the plan to be absolutely bossed with possession and then score a goal in the second half, is what I was trying to say. With huge hints of sarcasm. But it is 1-0, and it's Ashley Young. He's probably going to get a 5-year contract off the back of that. Me bloody glasses out of the way. But at least that goal should now let us sleep easy. Dad's Army strike again. Age before youth, says Nick P. Yep. I've got to tweet about it, otherwise I'll get stick. Matic. Sarcasm's the way to go. My tweet is full of sarcasm, and it will definitely get a few bites. The future's bright, isn't it? Matic to Mata to Young. Liverpool beware. In 4 years, they're going to be some players. Them, if they're still here, probably will be. And that's a foul. And AZ probably now will be. Dropping off a little bit. They've got a big game at the weekend on Sunday. Matic is playing one touch all night and he isn't half bad tonight, says Ciprino. How many drinks have you had, mate? I've watched Matic through painful eyes, and I can tell you he's not been playing one touch all night. He's played a few one touch passes, and when he does, it stands out. But I'll guarantee you, for every time Matic has touched the ball, I bet he's averaged 2 or 3 touches. I mean, he's got it now. This is his favourite. This is his favourite ball, Matic. Take 3 touches and blast it at Brandon Williams with a crap pass over 40 yards. That's never in front of him and is always difficult to deal with. Matt has been a bit better second half. United have been better this second half. I mean, we don't normally react, do we, at half-time? And I think we have reacted at half-time, and maybe Ollie's given him a bit of a kick up the backside, because the first half there was no energy and there was no urgency, but with the second half we're a much better team. Matic at CAM, no need for Pogba, says Will B. I don't mind Matic playing in these sort of games, because like I said, the positive is that Fred and McTominay are well rested for Sunday, but if we ever see Matic playing in the Premier League again, I'm going to cry. Or an important game. 2-0! And AZ Alkmaar want a foul. They're not going to get it. And it's Mason Greenwood. It's a cracking finish by Greenwood. I don't know who makes the tackle. AZ are saying it should have been a foul. And I think there's going to be a yellow card to an AZ player. But Greenwood plays to the whistle. And it's a lovely little finish. Absolutely top class. Yellow card to an AZ player. But they ain't getting the foul. And Greenwood has put this game to bed. And United second half have just shown a lot more urgency, which is what we should have done in the first half. To be fair, it probably was a foul. But there is no VAR in Europa League. And Greenwood plays to the whistle. Garner seems to catch him. I think, to be fair to the ref, it looks like it's a good tackle. But it's not that angle. Maybe he does get it. Maybe it's a very good tackle by Garner, to be fair. He certainly points at the ball. Doesn't matter. It's a goal. And it's 2-0 to Manchester United. And it's an absolutely cracking finish by Mason Greenwood. Who said that that guy hasn't got talent? Or kid, he hasn't got talent. He bloody has. He's a very, very good player. It's 2-0 to Manchester United. It's game over. And it's what we wanted from this game as well, isn't it? To get those 3 points, or a point, but certainly to win, keep the momentum going in relation to results, for the young lads to come out of it and get a bit of confidence, for other players that are probably going to get used at some point to take a bit of confidence as well, and to not finish, to finish top of the group is very, very important. I said that in the preview and I'll say it again. To not finish top of this group would have been a real, real, real error. And Jung's going to come out on for Martial now, which I think is the right move to make. And 2-0 to Manchester United. I think the central heat it's on. I'm bloody hot. I've got 2 jumpers on. Hey, that's a nice plug actually. If you want to get yourself a United stand jumper for Christmas, we've got the 5 Cantonars one as well. We've got the Class of 92 design. T-shirts, links in the video description for that. Really good Christmas present. Really good Christmas present it will make. Crap Yoda. Right, Mark, that's why I stopped blaming Ollie, because the players can do better than this, says Orlando Anglin. And would you rather be handcuffed to Robbie from AFTV for 10 weeks or have Matic start every game for his next season? That's from Big Mick. Mate, I would rather be handcuffed to Robbie for 10 weeks, because I tell you what, he's minted, isn't he? I'd have a right good time. You'd have to feed me. Mark, I am your long lost son, says Manuel. That makes sense. That makes sense. I had a great summer in Magaluf. And Mark, be honest, do you ever think we'll see 20,000 empty seats on Old Trafford? It's killing me thinking we'll have less fans when these kids who like City grow up, says Rafe Refu. No, Manchester United's always going to be a big club, because if you think about it, like, fans aren't just going to walk away from Manchester United, are they? Like, penalty as well. United are running away with this now. Ha! We could end up winning this 4 or 5-0. It's hilarious. So Greenwood wins a penalty, and it is a legit penalty as well. Brandon Williams knocks it into Greenwood. It's a penalty. It is a penalty. I don't know why he's saying it's not. Lovely run by Greenwood. He's playing down the middle now. Yeah, penalty. No questions about it. Stonewall pen, that. Stonewall pen. Mata's going to take it. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, why can't Greenwood take it? Oh, I'm a bit annoyed about that. He wins the penalty. He's a player that we will probably want him to break our record when he gets older. At least it'll give him something to write about in his vlog. Mata, 3-0. 3-0 to Manchester United. Good penalty by Mata. Give him a dead ball and no one near him, and he's still got it. But it's 3-0. And United... Well, who would have called this? 15 minutes, 3 goals, absolutely battering them. We're on easy street. Absolutely on easy street. Just shows you how quickly football can change around, doesn't it? And I would say that AZ's heads have well and truly dropped. Matters back, says Michael Goodison. 3-0 Manchester United. We've changed the score, and well, we are top of the league. Tactical drone strike or Matic, please, says Martin Mason. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. So United looking at a 3-game win streak now, and that massive game against Everton at the weekend. But they're all over them at the moment. I don't know what's 4-0. Mason Greenwood again. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What has happened to AZ Alkmaar? But more importantly, Greenwood could have had a hat-trick if he took that penalty. This is absolutely superb. And you would never have predicted this at half-time. Never in a million years. Carrick and Ollie, to be fair, are sat there as nonchalant as they were when we were playing crap in the first half. But Mason Greenwood picks this up on the edge of the box, very far out to the right, and just blasts it in the bottom corner. As I said, AZ Alkmaar, their ball out there is awful. Matic into Mata. Plays it to Greenwood, one little touch, stands it up and bang into the bottom corner. Again, that deadly left foot. He's so like Robin van Persie. It's interesting that this has happened since changing to a 4-1-2-3 after half-time, which is how we played last season, says Jack. I think that position, that does suit Matic a lot better. You know, Matic did play in the team in that 3-month period, and I think Matic is done at the top level, to be honest with you, but I think it does suit Matic playing in a 1. If I'm honest with you. So Greenwood, though, it's the Greenwood show tonight, and that's what's made this game so interesting to watch, because that first half we had to endure it, but the second half has been pure enjoyment. I tell you what as well, for any of our members, there is an emoji. There is an emoji in our selection if you're a member, and I'm going to christen this emoji, and I'm gonna do it now. Watch out in the live comments. Wand of a left foot. There is an emoji for wand of a left foot. I now christen that emoji the Mason Greenwood wand of a left foot, because he is and has got a wand of a foot. I think he's so like Robin van Persie, it is unbelievable. And that wand of a left foot emoji, which we haven't really used, is now getting spammed across. Yes, people are picking up on it. Good old members. He's something very special, Mason Greenwood. He reminds me so much of Robin van Persie. And I christen him tonight, Mason wand of a left foot Greenwood. And he will now have the United stand wand of a left foot emoji, and that's a big moment in the United stand history, to have your own emoji that isn't just something crap like Iceman or Slabhead. He is now wand of a left foot, and from now on will be Mason wand of a left foot Greenwood, and hopefully he's going to get a hat trick as he feeds it into Chong. Oh, cutbacks there. But there's still 25 minutes in the game. We could win it 4 or 5-0. Ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. But, you know, football's a funny old game. Pink Boots is coming on as well. We've got emojis for that as well. Mason Greenwood, wand of a left foot emoji. If you're a member, you can use it. If you want to be a member, you can click the join button and support the channel. But wand of a left foot. Not Timberland boots, Ricky. It's wand of a left foot. But United, you know, this is what confidence does to you. Confidence is a big thing, isn't it? And, you know, even Pereira and Mata. You look at AZ Alkmaar in that first half, knocking the ball about very, very confidently. Look at them in the second half. They're dead on their feet, and United are suddenly knocking the ball about as well. It's 4-0. I haven't changed the score as well. It's 4-0. It's not 3-0. Let me bang this home. And I bet it won't finish like that. Ron Vlaar's come on. Ex-Aston Villa. Ashley Young's coming off. I still think you're shit, Ashley. I don't care how happy you are. I still think you're crap. Not changing my mind. And hopefully Ethan Laird is coming on. Which yes, he is. This is the perfect and only time to bring Phil James on, the Perseverer. Yeah, you're right. Mark, what about getting Mandzukic for 1 season and loan Greenwood out? Says Hooray. God, no. You've bleached my eyes. Ah, no. No, I can't see. I can't see. Where's my... Oh, God, I'm hitting myself in the face. That's not because I can't see. That's just that comment. It's sending me mad. Get Mandzukic in and loan Greenwood out. Why? He's ready, man. He's ready. Is this second half Ollie's plan B? Says Jenksky 110. I don't think so. I just think it's been a kick up the backside, which we needed. I think Ollie might have had some choice words for the players during half time, says Suman Helden. Much higher intensity. Exactly. Exactly. And that's good to see. That is good to see, that is. That is good to see, that sort of thing. Welcome to Jay Kishan, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Oh, Brandon Williams has been fouled there, but I think he's all right. Wolves are beating Besiktas 4-0 as well. We're very good, impressive. Pink Boots is the captain. It's the Pink Boots, says Emaraf04. This is what remember on the 8 o'clock show the other night I was talking about sentimentality. Sentimentality in football has no place unless you're 4-0 up with 20 minutes to go, and doesn't matter how crap you play, you're not going to cost us winning the game. And Matt is actually the captain. I was going to say I couldn't see anything yellow on Phil Jones's arm. Don't put anything on Phil Jones that's bright anyway, it'll just put him off. Remember when he wore the pink boots? Why sign Haaland then if Greenwood is ready, says Hooray. Because we've only got Rashford, Greenwood and... we've got Rashford, Greenwood, James and Martial. We've got 4 players for 3 positions. We need another one. You could argue we need another 2, but we definitely need another one. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Remember, we're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams. We got fan cams after the game. We got, what else have we got? We've got Ricky on the fan cams. We've got Saeed on the fan cams. We'll have Adam on the fan cams and a load of other people as well. So subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Previews, match reactions. Ollie's press conference reaction in the morning. We'll be live for that. Coors Light or Budweiser, says Neil Hooley. Ooh, I don't know. I've gone off both. They are both very sort of... They give me a headache. For me, Greenwood is a mix of Van Persie and Van Nistelrooy finishing wise. Should we call him Mason Van Greenwood? And that was from Jig Patel. I think it's great that tonight, that although they were on the bench, Fred, McTominay and Rashford have not played. They've not played a minute, so they've had time out, and I think that's really important as well. I said before this game, I even said when we were playing poorly in the first half that that I think that we will beat Everton and Watford, and I think, you know, come Christmas Day we'll all be singing "Are you hanging up your stocking on your wall?" and we'll be feeling quite confident. Yeah, Jesus or Rashford? You're having a laugh, Jason. You're having a bloody laugh. Have a word with yourself. Please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We're on 595,400. It would be nice to get to 595,500 tonight. Bottom right hand corner for that. Mark, you should try Polish, says Lucas. And Godzilla or King Kong? And should it not be Rude Van Greenwood, says the real Roy Keane. Mourinho for president, says Amit. And where would you take Sancho, says Leafy Alanon. You know what I might try and do for a bit of a laugh? It might work. I can play this a little bit. I'm nervous, so it won't work. I don't know how loud that is, and I've not got my plectrum, but I'm basically playing the start of "Are you hanging your stocking on the wall?" So it goes. Oh, hit the wrong string. Are you hanging up your stocking on your wall? Are you hanging up your stocking on your wall? Are you hanging up your stocking on your wall? Are you hanging up your stocking on your wall? We're winning 4-0. It's nearly Christmas, everybody. You've got to enjoy it. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be toxic. We've got to enjoy it when it's going well. All I want for Christmas is Keno as assistant manager, says Martin Mason. You're the second person to mention that tonight. I presume there's absolutely no truth in that. Would be good. James McCluskey says, I can give you guitar lessons. I used to be quite good at the guitar. I just haven't played in a long time. I need to get my fingers rough again because they're not quite ready. They're not quite ready. It's about getting, I'm getting old as well. You've got to be able to move your fingers quick. That's what she said. The old ones are the best. The old ones are the best. They're the best. They are. They're so the best. Ding, 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 ding. Not just a fantasy, but a good one, says Martin Mason. And, Mark, your singing was so good, my mum started dancing, says Dan X. I just imagine your mum getting up and going like that. Hey, Goldbridge is singing, it's Christmas, pass me the snowballs. You got to love it. We've got to have a Christmas party, actually. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you find out when it is. Bottom right-hand corner. Mark's Christmas album is now. At all shit car boot sales. Yes, it is. It's nice though, isn't it? It's nice because after that first half I think we were all getting a bit concerned, and then it's nice to just go and score. Scoring goals when it's your team is just a nice feeling. So I can't be negative when you see this. And I think the big difference is, if you think back to a couple of years ago under Van Gaal, I think we still could have had a crap first half like we did and then win 4-0 in the second half, but the players that would be scoring the goals would be Mata and Fellaini and everything like that. The great thing about this is that, all right, we were crap in the first half and AZ have bottled it a little bit, but the goal scorers are young players. The players that are out there, the Garners are playing 90 minutes against, Garner's gone a little bit unnoticed, hasn't he? But this, if we're going to give AZ all this credit, you've got to give these young players credit as well. And, Greenwood will take their headlines, of course he will, and why wouldn't he? But, Garner's played 90 minutes. Matt Williams has played 90 minutes, and they've been really good. So, I think it's good when things go well, and it's character building because everybody had a bad second half, and I think on my match reaction, giving player ratings is going to be difficult because the players didn't play particularly well in the first half, but in the second half, it's been exactly what you would want to see from Manchester United. So what we take from it is going to be interesting. It's all about Sunday, though, I agree. But having said that, we shouldn't dismiss tonight. It's all right to say, it's all about Sunday, and it is all about Sunday, of course. But if we, that first half, at points in that game, you were feeling a little bit nervous as to, are we going to drop the point? Could we lose this game? And in the first half, we could have lost the game. So, and then if you do that, we haven't got an easier game in the knockout stage, which I think is so important to avoid the likes of an Inter Milan, when we could get, like I said, we could get Farmers FC quite easily now because we're top of the group. But yeah, Mason Greenwood, how good can he be? And I was watching Arsenal earlier, and I do think that Saka's a good player, and they've got Martinelli as well. But Mason Greenwood's in that, he's in that conversation. He really is. And we're so comfortable we can even bring Phil Jones on. Still 10 minutes to go. Long ball into the box there, but I called it right, didn't I? A lot of people, I didn't expect us to win 4-0. I'm not going to pretend I expected that. Good shot from Stengs there, tipped over by Romero. I did call that, though. I said AZ Alkmaar haven't got enough quality in the final third, and that has come to pass. It's 4-0 Clayhound. Hey Mark, been following since the early days. Still loving the content from everyone involved with Keep Up the Great Work. Great to see the players believing in each other. Watching from Brooklyn, New York, says Just Kick 07. New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. And Ganwell Balandres says, Mark, who would be your ideal opponent for the round of 32? Would you have a top team or average team to play against first? Look, part of me always wants to play the top teams because I think, I'd rather play City every week than bloody Bournemouth. But the reality is we want to win this tournament. And I've got to be honest and say, I want to win this tournament. So if we can have the easiest draw all the way, I ain't going to complain. So I don't know about you lot, but I won't complain if we get that. I think that, yeah, it would be very interesting for viewing if we're playing a decent team, but ultimately we got to win games of football. And well, it's not about winning games of football. It is about winning games of football, but it's about winning this tournament, which I still believe is our best opportunity of reaching Champions League. So. Yeah, for me, that's what I would like to see. I would like to see us get an easier game, which we will do, I think. I think we can't play any of the teams that drop down, which is good. And we also can't play any of the teams that finish top of their group. So I think we can only play teams that have come second. I don't know. I've got to be honest, I don't know how it works. If somebody in the live comments wants to tell us how it works, then we're all ears. I don't know how it works. Is the honest answer. I don't know who, but we finished top of our group, so I presume we can't play any of the teams that have been that have come down from the Champions League, and I wouldn't think we'd play any of the teams that have finished top of their group in the Europa League. But I might be wrong on that. But we should get an easier tie, which I think is the most important thing. Marachi's dead good to watch. We're our last into it, says Adam. And controversial opinion, Gabriel Jesus is better than Rashford, says Alex Productions. I disagree. Yellow card for Ethan Laird there. And when is the draw, says Jack Bullman. Does anybody know when the draw is? Because they're normally on Thursday and Friday, but I don't think it's next week. I think somebody said to me it's next Monday or Tuesday. Can you try and get Ethan Lard's name right? It's pronounced Laird, not Lard, says David Alfert. I'll try and do it for you, David. I'll try and do it for you. It's on Monday, the Europa League draw, so we'll be live for that for sure. No doubt about it. I think man of the match is going to be very easy tonight, isn't it? Definitely Phil Jones. I actually thought Phil Jones might start tonight. I don't know what you lot think, but I did. I didn't, and I did think that Twansibi was. I expected Twansibi to play. I actually thought that Wan-Bissaka might start tonight, and I think it's great the way it's worked out perfectly. There's been a bit of a risk. I think the first half was a little bit riskier than it needed to be, but we've come through that risk. We've got the result, and very happy with that. Again, I thought even playing Martial was a bit of a risk because he's been injured of late, but we've come through it. You know, we've played Matic, we've played Mata, and at the end of the day, they've come in and done. You know, have they played terribly in the first half? They did, but most of the team played badly as well in the first half. In the second half, they played well, and as I say, the big thing for me is that we've been able to rest players that, you know, ordinarily we wouldn't have been able to do. So it's all good. It's all good out there, and it's a big win as well. You know, you can't deny that. I think we would have been very happy with a 1-0. And, well, we wouldn't have been happy, but we would have been happy to finish in top of the group. And to go and win it is great. Mason loan as part of a deal for Haaland, says Sayed. I don't know. Why are people so eager to loan Mason Greenwood? I think there's still half a season to go. He's scoring goals against very good sides. You know, he could get 10 goals this season across all tournaments. And that, for me, for a lad of his age, is brilliant. See, Brandon Williams reading the pass there. Now, Chong's got some space to run into, and he's going to run into it. And I think it'll be a yellow card there for the pulling his hair. I think he pulled his hair, which I think is a really girly thing to do from Coop Miners. I'm sure he pulls his hair here. No, he pulls his shirt. Imagine if he had pulled his hair. Chong made it look like he pulled his hair because he went... He didn't pull his hair. Nothing like that. So, we got about 5 minutes to go. Another win for Manchester United. 3 in a row. Confidence builder. Yes, yes, yes. I did expect us to go and get another goal, to be honest, but I don't think we're going to get one. Massive. I mean, if anybody's interested in Dutch football, AZ Alkmaar are actually top of their group, but second in the league, only a few points behind Ajax, and play Ajax on Sunday in a top of the table game. If you missed it, you missed it. I'm not doing it again. Somebody says, can you do it again? If you've missed it, you missed it. I'm not doing it again. It's as simple as that. I'll tell you what, on the Christmas party, I will do some I will learn some songs on the guitar, and I'll make sure I've got my plectrum, and we'll do some songs. But I haven't got my plectrum with me. And Pereira's had a good second half, you know. He has had a good second half. I don't care what anybody says. I will just want to give a shout out as well, because tomorrow lunchtime I'm starting my Football Manager career on Football Manager, funnily enough, as Manchester United, and it's going to be good fun. And it's going to be a lot harder than FIFA, because at least on FIFA you can play as the players. This is all about managerial, so it's going to be trying to do better than Ollie's done on Football Manager is going to be a real challenge. That kicks off at 1:30 tomorrow on my other channel, which is Mark Goldbridge. That's Football. So you can join me at 1:30 for that. Looking forward to that. Somebody just messaged me to say, "Have you seen Goldbridge World?" Doesn't even come up on my search. Let's have a look. See how good it is. I can play this a little bit. I'm nervous, so it won't work. I don't know how loud that is, and I've not got my plectrum, but I'm basically playing the start of. Not bad. That first one wasn't too bad. Oh, hit the wrong string. Are you hanging up your stocking? God. Yeah, that's cringe. That's cringe. That is cringe. That was cringe. Feels cringe. 4 minutes to go. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll soon be over. Opinions on Atem Dzuba and Celtic Man United final, says Finlay Rafferty. I tell you what, I'd love to play Celtic in the final. I'd love to play Celtic or Rangers at some point in the Europa League. I think it would be great. Absolutely great for the tournament. So I hope that does happen at some point. There's some decent ties to be had in this tournament, but I think for us it's about, yeah, you're right, it's about Manchester United winning it. I mean, do you, just as a question towards the end of the stream, do you think Manchester United can win this Europa League? Because I do think that we can, and the reason I think we can is because, look, you know, teams do play us off the park, and we saw that in the first half with this side, and we saw it in the away leg with this side. But what we've also seen with this team is that we can score goals quickly, and we can beat anybody. And consistency is always going to be Manchester United's problem. And people will dismiss this result tonight, but I'll tell you what, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will not be dismissing this result tonight, because it's another win in a row, isn't it? It's another win. And Greenwood there looking for his hat-trick. He's put it wide. But I do think we can win it. I don't think it's going to be easy. But I think this is why it's so important for Manchester United to sign players in January, because has anybody considered this? If you think about last February and March where we got all those injuries, that was against teams we got all those injuries last season in February and March, and in the Europa League there's an extra round. Like the Champions League, there's one extra knockout stage. In the Europa League, no, there's not. There's one extra knockout stage in the Champions League, in the Europa League. So we're going to have to play 2 extra games to get to the final. And last year we had an injury crisis, so I think we're definitely going to get one this year. So we need to buy in January. If we're really serious about doing anything this season, then we've got to buy in January. And the club need to do that. They didn't really back Ollie in the summer. In relation to the midfield and the attack, and they've got to do that. They've got to do that, and I hope that they do, because there is an opportunity for us to do something this season. Yeah, I think that there is. I don't know.
Admiral Casino.
Matic again. Stick with the day job. A voice only a mother could love, says David McLean. Yeah, I've got no ambitions to be a singer, to be honest. No hat-trick for Mason, says Jake. It would have been nice for him to get a hat-trick, wouldn't it? It would have been nice. Match reaction stream is the link in the video description. We're going to do that straight after this. Be talking about United first. Tale of two halves, but the second half has just left us with. I'd rather have the second half like that than the first half. Wrap it up and send it to Santa. Good vid, says Oliver Middelson. And hi Mark, do you still fancy Ollie as our manager long term? Says Elisa Ago. I mean, I want Ollie to succeed. I've said this so many times. I want Ollie to be successful. I want Ollie to succeed. And he will be here for a while yet. So I'm certainly not saying Ollie out. I've never said Ollie out. He would have been sacked if he'd lost to Spurs and Man City. That's common knowledge. He will be here, I think, until at least this time next year. So I hope that he can turn things around, and find some consistency. And I think the next few games are so important in that quest. If I'm honest, I don't think he will ever win as a Premier League title, and that's what we should be doing. But I hope I'm proven wrong about that. And yet again, he stood there talking to Phelan and McKenna, and I think he's still a very inexperienced coach who's always looking for security from his coaching staff, and he needs to grow away from that. Not many top coaches do that. They've got their coaching staff, but Ollie's he's so naive and inexperienced. He's always looking for that. So he can. What I'm trying to say is that's not a bad thing. We knew we were getting an experienced coach. He can become one. it's going to be about the growth with him. Tony94 says 4 teams with least points who drop from Champions League will be drawn against group winners. Please don't sing again or my ears will blow. All right, okay. Matic, 9,000 out of 10. Yeah, somehow I don't think Matic will be getting my man of the match reaction. But you can join me on the match reaction. I'm just about to open up that stream now, so I will be live literally within about 60 seconds of this stream ending. Thanks everyone for watching. Please do subscribe if you're new before you go over to the other stream, because we are live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams after this. We've got Ollie's press conference reaction for the Everton game tomorrow morning. We've got a preview tomorrow, transfer show on Saturday, another watch along on Sunday. It never stops. There's always loads going on the channel, and you are the people who make this channel what it is. We have call-ins as well. If you're at a game, get on a fan cam. It's your channel. It's a fan channel. It's always been that for the last 5 years, and it's always going to be that way. So thanks everyone who's joined us. Really enjoyed the conversation. Somebody was saying get a guest on again. I prefer doing it like this. There's way more interaction between the live comments and me if we haven't got a guest on, but we can go back to doing that if you want us to. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to be on the match reaction stream straight after this. The link is in the video description. I'll see you in 60 seconds. Thanks for watching.